podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
Hi, this is Leo Laporte, and this is my Tech Guy podcast. This show originally aired on the Premier Networks on Saturday, April 17th, 2021. This is episode 1788. Enjoy. The Tech Guy podcast is brought to you by Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile's secret sauce is that they're the first company to sell wireless service online only. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/techguy. And by Helm. Helm believes that privacy is a right, not a setting. Protect what matters with Helm. Purchase the new Helm version 2 and get a coupon for free shipping. Go to thehelm.com/techguy. That coupon will be applied at checkout. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here. It's Tech Guy time. Time to talk computers and the internet, home theater, digital photography, smartphones, smart watches, all of that jazz. Anything with a chip in it. All the technology all around us these days. Boy, you know, I've been doing this show since the early 90s. And at that time, when I started doing it, you couldn't say technology was all around us. I mean, people had computers on their desks, but internet usage wasn't widespread. In fact, hardly anybody used it. Email, when I first started this, didn't even go from one person to another. You had to all be on the same platform. You remember MCI mail? You could only email, it was electronic mail. You could only email other people with MCI mail, or Genie, or CompuServe, or AOL. You could only email AOL people, right? And then a few years later, all of a sudden, the internet, and you could email anybody anywhere. That's when the changes started. The big change, I guess, 2007, about 15 years after I started. Is that right? Yeah. 15 years after I started doing this show. That can't be right. Yeah, it is, though. Then that's when the iPhone came out and everything changed, because all of a sudden you had the internet in your pocket. You were always on, always connected. Man, now we're in the world of TikTok and Snapchat and Twitter and Facebook and the Goog. It's really changed, but that's part of the fun for me, at least. It's not boring. It never stops, and of course, it means you need me even more. I'm here if you need me. I'm your tech guy. Phone number, if you want to call and talk about all this stuff, is 8888-ASK-LEO, 888-827-5536, toll free from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. Outside that area, still works, but you got to use Skype or something like that to call. 8888-ASK-LEO. Sometimes I start the show with bad news. I'll start the show with some good news. How about that for a change? Okay? Microsoft has just announced a kids mode for its browser, its Windows browser, the Edge browser. Have you used Edge? It's now installed automatically on all versions of Windows. Internet Explorer is still there, hidden. But Edge has replaced that and is the default browser. It's based on Google's Chromium, so it's very compatible with all the websites in the world. And they've just added a free option for parents called Kids Mode. Easy to turn on. As a parent, you don't have to do much. There's 2 versions of Kids Mode, depending on the age of your kids. There's a 5 to 8-year-old, which, by the way, makes sense, because a 5-year-old has different needs than a 12-year-old, right? 5 to 8 years old, or 9 to 12. Automatically turns on tracking prevention, as it should, and strict Bing safe search. You use Bing, right? No, but anyway. Maybe you will now. And what they've done is that it's one of those whitelist things. Approved lists. I don't want to use white and black list anymore. That's not right. Let's use approved list and blocked list. So, one way to do a kid's safe browser is to block sites, and it's not very good because there's always new stuff. But if you have an approved list of sites that kids can go to, an automatic allow list. Microsoft has 70 popular kids sites on an automatic allow list. You can add more. In fact, you probably want to, if the kid's school and things like that. It actually blocks kids from exiting out. Alt F4 doesn't work. By the way, okay, on the Macintosh, you want to quit a program, it's Command Q for quit, right? To close a window, it's Alt W or Command W to close a window, or Alt W or something. For some reason, and I guess it's the age of Windows, Alt F4 is the way you close a program on Windows. Does anybody even know that? Okay. This special mode actually restricts popular Windows shortcuts from working to prevent kids from exiting out. Now, if you're on Mac OS, you could still use Edge, or even Linux, you could still use Edge, but and it does have that kid thing, but it doesn't have as many of the protections. You can't block out, keystrokes on the Mac OS and stuff like that. If a kid wants to go to a site not on the list, there's a block page, and it says, ask mom or dad. It says, kids mode, can't get to this site yet. Need to visit this site now? Let's ask an adult if it's okay first. And then it has a button that says give permission, but of course the adult password has to be entered. I love this. If you're in the higher 9 to 12 age range, you also get a news feed with curated Microsoft news for kids. See, I thought I'd start with a happy story, something cool, something exciting. Now here's the bad news. This week, the president met with executives from many of the big tech companies, as well as the CEOs of Ford and General Motors, to address the ongoing chip shortage. Both Ford and GM have had to slow down lines producing cars and trucks because they couldn't get the special automotive chips now that everything's got a chip in it. Intel's CEO Pat Gelsinger, who was there, said it's going to be a couple of years before we get our new plants up online in Arizona. They're going to spend $20 billion to do that. The president is chipping in, get it? $50 billion for a chip production infrastructure plan. It's a crisis, but the problem is the solution to the crisis isn't short term. You can't just automatically wave a wand and make more chips appear. You got to build factories. And many of those factories, good news, will be built in the U.S., which I think is prudent, especially if we're putting the money in, right? So 2023 maybe before this stuff eases up. Yikes. TSMC, which is a big Taiwanese semiconductor manufacturing company, that's what TSMC stands for, is ponying up $100 billion over the next few years to build plants, including a $12 billion chip fab. That's what they call these fabrication and assembly plants. A chip fab in Arizona. Yay. There's a couple of things going on here. Concern about tariffs, but more importantly, concern about the geopolitical situation with China, even with regards to Taiwan. It's uncertain. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't want to be completely reliant on manufacture in China, which most tech companies, in fact, most companies, period, are in the U.S. and around the world. So this is a long-term plan that ain't going to give us any short-term relief. It's not just COVID, by the way. It's natural disasters. There have been a number of fires, 3 as far as I remember, in chip factories, which have really reduced production. It's also, we want more chips. We're eating them up like crazy. Was it Lay's potato chips who said, eat as many as you want, we'll make more? It ain't that way with microprocessing chips. They're hard to make. They're expensive to make. And the planning happens years before. So they planned a certain amount. With COVID, everybody, computer sales are up. Tablet sales are up. Even cellular, smartphones were up. Cars started using chips. A lot of devices that didn't use chips before started using chips. Suddenly the demand is exponential, and everybody was caught a little off guard. So it's going to be a couple of years before that eases up. Couple of years. Samsung has an event coming up April 28th. We don't know what they're going to announce. They say the most powerful Galaxy is coming. I don't think it's a phone. I think it's a laptop. And maybe a Chromebook. They make some really nice Chromebooks. I hope we see some new Chromebooks from them as well as new Windows laptops. 8888 Ask Leo. That's a few of the things on the agenda today. But anything on your mind is good too. 888-827-5536. As I talk, you may hear something you want to remember or complain about or correct. You can do that, of course, by calling. But the best thing to do is to go to the website. That's free, no sign up, techguylabs.com. Everything that goes on during the show will end up there, thanks to James DeRuvo, who's writing, even now as I speak, and putting up links. And then, after the fact, we put audio and video from the show up there. So you can even, go to your question or somebody else's question, listen to it, listen to my answer, and then say, Leo, you're wrong, in the comments. We appreciate it, actually. My goal is to make this site more and more and more valuable, and your additions help a lot. TechGuyLabs.com. No sign up. It's free.
Not my favorite.
Used to call me on your cell phone. Hello, Kim Schaffer, phone angel.
Hello.
How are you?
Mr. Laporte.
As you know, okay, here's what I'm thinking. Our musical director, Professor Laura, I think, is always trying to find a phone song. I think that today what happened is she forgot. And seconds before, she Googled cell phone.
Or
and
she's
got
running
that.
out of options.
Maybe. That could all. That's what she says. She says, I'm running out of options. Hello, Kim. Kim answers the phone. She puts you on the air. She is our professional phone angel.
I wouldn't go that far.
Well, you get paid to do it. That makes you a professional. Right?
If that's all it takes, everybody's a professional.
We're all professionals in this biz. Don't have to pay you a lot.
No, you don't.
Just a pittance is all it takes. So who should I start with here? By the way, I don't pay Kim.
No.
For me, I'd pay you a lot.
I got bashed on that one time because people are under the impression that you are my employer.
No, you don't work for me.
No, I do not.
You work for the Premier Radio Network. Just as I do. We're both employees of the Premier Radio Network. So
yeah.
so call.
So it's not his fault. People don't. But I'll take Venmo.
Jeez. Kim's setting up an OnlyFans for everybody who wants to help her.
Help a starving radio.
Starving radio, call phoner, answer. Who should I talk to?
Let's go to Marlboro, New Jersey. The
Okay.
cigarette place, Joe.
Okay.
Line 1.
If you're a professional, you should know how to say
Yeah, easy for you to say.
Thank
Marlboro.
you, Kim. Thank you, Kim. Hello, Joe from Marlboro, New Jersey. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello,
Leo.
Is Marlboro where Marlboro cigarettes come from?
No. Actually, there used to be a mineral called marl.
Oh, Marl, yeah.
Yeah, it was mined in pits in and around Marlboro. That's where it got its name from originally.
Oh, interesting. Have they filled in the pits, or are they still there?
Well, I suppose certain people have to bury bodies somewhere. So.
As they said in Hamilton, everything's legal in Jersey.
Yeah, right. and kept under wraps.
And kept under wraps. My whole family's from Jersey, so I can say that. I have many fond memories. What can I do for you, Joe?
All right, I have two televisions.
Yes.
One's a Sony that's 65-inch, 7-year-old. The other one is the C7 LG.
Oh, that's the best, right. That's the one Scott's always recommending, yeah.
Right. I would like to connect headphones to both of them. Now, the Sony, if I connect to the back where the RCA connectors connect to, and I connect a pair of headphones, I get the very, very faintest coming out. That is the audio.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking I need some kind of an amplifier to amplify that so I can get it into my headphones or my earbuds. And with the C7, it's very complicated. There's a jack in the back of the television that has a picture of headphones on it. I've connected to it with earbuds and headphones. I can't, no matter what I do, I cannot get it to produce any sound. And if I take the other approach, which is to connect via Bluetooth to Bluetooth headphones or earphones, and I've tried two different pair, what happens is that TV connects to my wife's TV, which she has in her office upstairs, which is an X10, a CX LG, a 55-inch. And the TVs just seem to want to, the one downstairs just wants to connect to the one upstairs. So
yeah, Bluetooth isn't ideal for TV viewing anyway because of some latency involved. You won't get very good lip sync if you're using Bluetooth.
All right. Well, you're a big fan of Monoprice, and I was on their website, and they have a thing called a Blackbird 4K HDMI audio extractor.
There you go.
The product number is 24278.
So the idea is that plugs into so HDMI carries both video and audio, and that's how most TVs are getting their video and audio. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if this is, and I'm not going to look it up. I guess I could, but I don't know if this comes from the audio return channel or ARC channel of the HDMI, or if it's in a way a pass through. Is the idea that you'd put the cable box or the Roku into the Blackbird, and then the Blackbird goes to the TV, and then that's what it looks like. And in the meanwhile, you can also plug headphones into it or something else into it.
Right. It says it supports CEC bypass, but when you look at the unit itself, on the back of it, there's HDMI out, left and right out, and optical out.
Yeah, that's what you'd want. So most people who want to do this, for instance, I listen to headphones all the time on my TV. In fact, on my LG OLED, much like yours, but I don't use the headphone jack on the TV. I think on the old Sony, it's probably line out from those RCA jacks, and that's not enough level, so you'd have to have a headphone amp anyway. If it's marked with headphones as the LG is, that should have enough level. Maybe there's a setting in the menus to enable it. That's probably what's going on. But generally what I will do is I'll have a receiver of some kind as the connection to the TV. So my cable, because I usually have more than one device going to the TV. So I'll have in my bedroom, for instance, I have an Xbox, an Apple TV, a Google TV. All three have HDMI out. They go in the back of, and you can get simple ones of these. Actually, I use a very simple one that came from my speaker manufacturer, an ELAC, E-L-A-C. It goes into that. Then an HDMI comes out of that into the television. So it passes through the video, meanwhile capturing the audio, just like that Blackbird does, and I can connect my headphones to that. It's got a big knob on the front to turn up the volume. I think that's the ideal way to do it. So the Blackbird might be a good solution. Any audio AV receiver should work. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Hang on, because Scott's here, or he's going to be here in a sec. And I can, we just went to commercial break, but we're still on the podcast. I can ask Scott what he recommends. Scott, are you there? We're just getting him up right now. So you basically, Joe, have something connected right into the TV. That's what you're watching.
I'm here. Hang on one second.
Yeah. Joe, you have something connected right into the TV.
Mm-hmm. The Sony, which, as I said, I can hear the faintest.
Yeah, it's probably line level out. Yeah.
Yeah, right. What type of headphone amplifier should I be looking at?
Any headphone amplifier. So you could go to headphone.com and pick one up, or any. And I had one from Radio Shack that worked just fine. I don't think you can go there anymore. But yeah, I just took the RCA out of that into the amplifier. That's got a big headphone jack on the front and a big knob, and that's it. And there are, these things can, if you looked on Amazon for headphone amplifiers, you'd see a million of them ranging in price. It's not doing any digital to analog conversion or anything like that, because it's just taking an analog signal from the TV and boosting up the sound. So that would work fine, and you should probably be able to get something like that for $50 or $60. It shouldn't be expensive.
Okay. All right.
I wouldn't recommend Bluetooth, because I do think the latency is, you're going to want a wire. And if you really don't want a wire, what I would get is RF-based wireless headphones that are designed not to have any latency. Bluetooth is not ideal for that.
Okay.
And as you see, you also have a problem with it pairing to other devices. I'm looking at a Pile 2x120-watt home audio speaker power amplifier with a headphone jack, $44. I mean, these things are not expensive. Right,
Okay.
right, Scott? So that's one solution.
Am I on?
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, great. Yeah, Pile is actually a good make. So yeah, I think I agree with what you're saying. The one thing I would add is in the TV's audio menu, there may be a switch that lets you disable or enable volume control of the output.
Oh, yeah. Because otherwise
So
it's just a line level nominal.
It's just a line level out. So if you enable volume control of the output, of the audio output, that may give you enough juice. Maybe.
That's a good point. So it may not just be, I thought maybe it was disabled on the Sony, but it just could be that you can't turn it up and down.
Some TVs give you this option and some don't.
Right. It's an older Sony,
so it may not.
I don't know. I don't know what because coming out of it's an RCA jack, so I don't know if it's line out. I bet you it's line out.
I think your idea of a little inexpensive headphone amp
Yeah.
is the best idea.
And on the LG OLED, apparently it has headphone jacks that don't do anything.
Well, once again, I'd go into the audio menu.
Look at the
see.
menu. Yeah. See if there's
It may have a switch
volume
there
control.
or a
Yeah.
level control there or something.
Any other questions, Joe?
Yeah, one quick hit. I bought a couple of tripods and iPad holders for my two grandchildren.
Aw.
They've been taking pictures. Now they want to combine the video feeds and make a movie out of it. What do you recommend that works in the Windows world?
Well, the easiest thing to do would be for each iPad to record separately, and then take the videos from both iPads and import them in. And as you say, you're on Windows, so I think probably Adobe Premiere Elements, which is the under $100 version of their professional audio solution, would be a really good choice. It's under $100, and it'll allow you to combine both those videos. You can do multiple shots, combine them into a timeline, and then add audio, and they can make The Godfather that way if they want. Our show today brought to you by Ryan Reynolds and Mint Mobile. Gotta love them. I can't believe the deal on Mint Mobile. Blows me away. Mint Mobile is an amazing story. They don't have stores. They sell online exclusively. And by doing that, they save big. Mint Mobile, but they pass along the savings to you. You can get unlimited nationwide talk and text and data, too, for $15 a month. What are you paying for your cell service? A lot more than that. A lot more than that. They have an unlimited plan that's less than anybody in the market. And it's the largest nationwide 5G network. It's a good network. It's T-Mobile. They resell T-Mobile. I think that's a great deal. I don't know why everybody isn't a Mint Mobile customer. I am. I got this wonderful, but very affordable. You can bring your own phone, of course. They'll send you the SIM, and you don't lose your contacts. You port your number over. I got a great iPhone SE. Their secret sauce is that the first company to sell wireless service online only. No retail stores, no crazy overhead. The savings is passed along to you. Premium wireless, just $15 a month. If you're not 100% satisfied, Mint Mobile has you covered. A 7-day money-back guarantee. I just don't understand why everybody isn't using Mint Mobile. Why aren't you? MintMobile.com/techguy. Cut your wireless bill. Get great service to get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month. and get the plan shipped to your door for free. mintmobile.com/techguy. Look at the fox. It looks just like Ryan Reynolds. mintmobile.com/techguy to get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month. I love this. I have to say, it's just the greatest. mintmobile.com/techguy. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. What is hip? This man right here, Mr. Scott Wilkinson, home theater geek, contributor at techhive.com, and our regular home theater guru right here on the Tech Guy Show. Hello, Scotty.
Hey, Leo. How you doing?
I am great. How are you?
Doing great, thanks.
So you helped a little bit with Joe, our caller from Marlboro, with some suggestions for his TVs. Ultimately, you know, I'm really, it's interesting. So many of our listeners, the TV's the whole thing. You know, you and I, we've got an AV receiver. We've got multiple
external
inputs,
speakers, multiple inputs. Yeah.
The
exactly
inputs go into the AV receiver, which goes to the TV. The receiver powers the speakers. You know, it's a home theater setup. But people, you know, because for years you didn't do that with a television.
Yeah. And mostly, I think the majority of people probably do what the caller was doing, which is just have the TV by itself.
Right.
And I got to tell you, if you're gonna do that, listening on headphones is gonna, with some caveats that we were talking about, is going to be much better than listening to the TV's speakers.
The speakers that come on TVs are terrible now because
generally terrible.
They're token. They're not. They don't expect you to be using them. In fact, there are TVs that have no speakers at all.
A few. Yes, not very many these days.
Because they don't want the calls, so they put in $1.50 pair of speakers.
Right.
And then people won't call them.
That's right.
I don't have any sound on my TV.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. But because, of course, historically, you bought a TV. It had speakers. You
historically, the TV was a piece of furniture in the middle of your living room. Those days are long behind us.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. I was interested to hear you talk about you say you have an ELAC. Essentially a little AV receiver.
Yeah, really what it is, it's actually a cool little device. When I bought the ELAC speakers, I wanted to use them primarily as audio speakers. So you need an amp for that because ELACs, unlike computer speakers or other speakers, are not powered. You have to have something powering them. And ELAC sells a small little DAC. Basically, it's a DAC with an amplifier. It's just a little device. You can have different inputs. I have optical in coming into it from the television. But you can also have other sources, and it supports Bluetooth, so you can play Bluetooth.
Does it have HDMI inputs as well?
I'm trying to remember. I think not. I think it's optical only on that one.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's really...
Still, all of the devices that you plug into it have optical outputs.
Yeah, they all go into it. And so it's not an AV receiver. It's just for audio. But it's...
right. It's probably not surround either, but you don't need that in your
left,
case.
right. What I really wish I had, in fact, I recommend anybody when they're buying these days, make sure you get AirPlay 2 capability. That's an Apple technology, but boy, is that handy if you have an iPhone or an Apple device.
Well, and it's very high quality. It reminds me of a review I just posted yesterday on TechHive of basically a wireless speaker from a company called Cleer, C-L-E-E-R, clever spelling of a name. They're very good at headphones, but they also make some wireless speakers. And the reason I bring it up, it's called the Cleer Crescent, and it supports AirPlay 2. Yeah. And in my research for that review, I learned that AirPlay 2 carries a much higher bit rate.
So much better than Bluetooth.
So much better than Bluetooth. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. It uses Wi-Fi. So you have to be on the same Wi-Fi network as the device.
Correct.
But then you're using all the bandwidth of Wi-Fi to send digital audio to the device.
That's right. The iPhone X or 10s, which is mine. I know they've moved on from there, but I still have that one. Uses 802.11 Wi-Fi AC, right? Which and the Crescent also uses 802.11 AC, which lets it stream up to 1.3 gigabits, I think.
This is a nice speaker. I like the Crescent. The Crescent Moon look too.
It's a wonderful design. I thought it was great.
This is for listening to music.
Yes. Now, interestingly, you can hook it up to your TV. It's got an optical input as well. It's got two physical inputs: an 1/8 inch, aux jack, and an optical input. So I actually did try it as a sound bar on my TV, and it sounded great, but it doesn't have any IR control. You can't program.
So you have to get up and go across the room to turn it up.
Yeah, exactly. So never mind. The other thing I really want to say about this speaker, which is very interesting, is it's got a bunch of little drivers in it, plus a couple of bigger ones for the low frequencies, but it has the capability of simulating a wide stereo sound field that works remarkably well. I was actually quite amazed. The review I did before this one was of a Sony speaker, single speaker, that purported to do the same thing, and it was terrible.
Yeah.
And so I
this
thought,
would be
well,
great
this
if
one
you
can't
had,
be very good.
If you had music or podcasts or books on your iPhone that you wanted to play and listen to, this would be a good choice for that. I'm thinking it's going to be pretty expensive.
It is. It's $700.
Yeah. Yeah, but it looks
it's
nice.
Expensive.
It looks
but
nice.
It's beautiful. It's big. It's like 2 feet wide.
Yeah,
So
I'm glad you have the picture of it in the living room, because there's no way of knowing when you look at these. How is that, a foot?
Isolated
is that 6 inches? What is it? Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So it's
right,
big.
Right.
That's a big thing.
It is big. And
Does
it's
it get
heavy.
pretty
It's
loud?
like 10 or 12 pounds.
Yeah.
It can get very loud,
Yeah.
It also has a party mode where basically the sound fills the room.
Nice.
And it sounds roughly the same no matter where you are in the room. So that's kind of cool too. You have your choice. But it'll do Chromecast as well as AirPlay 2, which Chromecast is similar, and it also goes over Wi-Fi. But if you have Android or you're based on Android, you can use Chromecast. And if you're based in Apple, you can use AirPlay 2. It's one of the only ones I know of that does both.
Yeah, I would from now on, if you're an iPhone user or a Mac user or an iPad user, I would say that should be a condition of buying any wireless system is AirPlay 2.
Yeah.
Bluetooth is the lingua franca, but even aptX, which this ELAC does, is not quite as good as AirPlay 2, I think.
No, that's absolutely true. And this clear Crescent does not do aptX. It only does the basic Bluetooth codec, which is called SBC, at 200 megabits, which is, pretty low.
Yeah.
So if you want the quality, I agree with you 100%. If you're an Apple user, iPhone user, get something with AirPlay 2. Yeah. And if you're an Android user, Google user, get something that does Chromecast. Chromecast is more common.
It's sad. Google. They had a Chromecast audio, and I have several of them, and it was excellent. It had optical out. It was excellent.
Yeah.
And they canceled it, as they do with every good thing that happens in the world comes to Google to die. It's just depressing. So they still offer the video Chromecast.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have optical out.
No.
So
I don't. I think I had the very first one. I haven't.
It's frustrating, and I guess the cast technology. In this case, you wouldn't need the Google dongle, because this has it built in.
So it has it built in.
You would basically choose something that, as long as the app on your phone supported casting, and many do now. You would cast.
Most do. Yeah.
You would cast to the Crescent, and the Crescent would play it, and it would play it at. Is Chromecast as high fidelity as AirPlay 2? It is.
Yes, it is. Nice. Exactly right.
Yeah.
So you set it up with Google Home app, right? You set this speaker up with Google Home app, which is easy, and then
it's ironic because Apple had a device that did the AirPlay 2 thing that had multiple tweeters as this one does, and a big bass as this one does. It was $400, not $700, but they canceled it because nobody bought it. The HomePod. And replace it with a $100 HomePod Mini, which is much more popular. People do not want to spend big bucks, I think.
I admit, I do accept that. Yes.
Except people like you and me, audiophiles. It's the same, the people who drive sports cars are also older. It's just the way it is. Leo Laporte, D-Tech guy. I didn't get that whole thought in there. But the whole thought is, by the time you can afford good audio, you're too old to appreciate it.
Yeah, you're at the top end of your hearing is gone.
By the time you can afford that, Maserati, you're too young to get in. I mean, too old to get in.
Too old to get into the thing.
Yeah. It's just it's the way of the world, you know. You see these older guys in the convertible with their caps on, and you know, it's like, yeah, it's too late, guy. You should have had it when you were 30.
Well, I have to say, this thing was expensive, but it really sounds good, and it's stylish.
It's very tempting because I want to replace my. I have that great JBL Authentics 16, which is basically the same idea, same size. Doesn't do AirPlay. And it actually does do AirPlay. It doesn't do AirPlay 2. And it would be really nice to have a nice AirPlay 2 speaker in the.
I will say this: when I was testing it, I used AirPlay for a while, and then I tried to go to Chromecast, and AirPlay stopped working.
Yeah. You can only do one at a time, I'm sure.
It was a little but I couldn't go back to it.
Oh, it stopped working. Period.
I would have had to reset the speaker.
Oh, that's annoying.
So AirPlay was a bit finicky, but I suspected it was, and I mentioned it in the review, but I think it would probably only be a problem for reviewers like myself trying all the different modes.
Right.
You know, if you were going to use AirPlay and you stuck with it, it'd be fine.
Good to know. Your audio is back to crunchy. Are you on original audio?
Oh, I thought I was.
Go back.
Yeah. Hang on a second.
It's that sound I get.
Oh, I turned it. I didn't turn it on. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that's the one thing I forgot to do.
I can always tell.
Damn.
What we found is definitely we want original audio with a setup like yours. It's good. We did notice when I was using my good setup at home, I was getting a little echo, and echo cancellation killed that. But I don't think we're getting any echo.
In my settings, I've got high-fidelity music mode.
Yep. Turn off echo cancellation and turn on.
Echo cancellation is off.
Yeah, turn on original.
High-fidelity music mode is on.
Yeah.
The only problem is I forgot to turn on original sound, which I have to do manually.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. I knew it before we started, but I didn't have time to tell you. It's a little bit, what happens is I can hear the compression a little bit more.
The compression. Yeah.
It's a little crunchy. Anyway, all yours for like nothing. A minute 30.
Sorry.
Do you want to?
Yeah, well.
Can you stick around for the top of the hour?
Sure, happy to. Sure.
I will give you command, though, for a little bit here.
Big Island AH. By the time I could afford a really good large telescope, I was too old to lift it. Damn straight.
Yeah. It's sad,
I got to tell you, I've seen lately a couple of these smart telescopes. Have you seen these?
No, I want it. What is it?
Oh my God, it's
smart.
It's
I want
so cool. You set it up, it automatically aligns, and then you on the app you can be inside and looking at your iPad
on your TV.
On your TV and tell it go look for M33, and it goes finds it and has an ambient light rejection system. Oh, it's amazing. You can take pictures, with like 3,000 by 2,000 pixel resolution.
Are they from Celestron? Who are they? Who makes them?
No. There was this. I'll have to look it up. I think it's called the.
They all make them apparently. That's just the new thing.
Stellaria.
Oh,
the
Stellaria. Yeah.
I'll look it up.
John says they all do it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stellina.
Stellina. That's it. Yes. That one I've looked at them. That one has the highest resolution imager.
Oh wow! It's basically a PTZ camera for $4,000. All right.
Yes.
I got to run. We'll talk at the top. Now this we should have played for Kim. Hello, I love you. Won't you tell me? Leo Laporte, the tech guy. 8888. Ask Leo. Roger's on the line from North Hollywood, California. Hello, Roger.
Hey, Leo. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. I live in crummy North Hollywood, a place you never want to live, trust me.
It sounds so romantic. It sounds so star-filled.
Oh, it is. It really is. We have homeless people at the bus stops threatening you with death if you cross paths with them.
That sounds not good.
Oh, not good at all. The minute I win the lottery, sell a screenplay, or marry money, I'm out of here.
See, I have this romantic image, probably from the movies, of the bohemian North Hollywood, and I guess it's a little too bohemian now.
A little too. We have homeless people, like 6 in a group, sleeping on street corners now.
They must have seen the same movies I did.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's changed a bit. That's all I can say. Once it was nice, but now it's a nightmare.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
I wish
Roger.
I were in Petaluma. That's
It's
where you
beautiful.
are, right?
Well, wait, you know what? Homeless people are everywhere. It's a problem everywhere.
It really is.
And it's something we got to solve. But
It's time.
It's time. What can I do for you?
Well, get me out of North Hollywood. Give me room to rent. I'm a good cook. I can make a pizza.
Oh, all right. You're hired.
Oh, thank you. What's your address? I'll be there this weekend.
Okay, Roger.
Well,
That's my fantasy, by the way. Have a professional cook on site.
I'm available, Leo.
So nice.
I'm available.
So nice. I would love that.
Yeah, me too.
Is there a tech problem I can help you with?
Yes. I'm an older kid. I didn't grow up with computers. I'm 68. And this summer I'll be 69. And I just wondered if I took, let's say, a seminar a while ago, like 20 years ago, and I got heart palpitations.
You know, by the way, I'm 64, so you're not...
Oh, you're just a kid.
You're not too old for computers. Right. I just have to tell you.
Yeah.
But I think there is a gene, to be honest with you. How are you with math? Did you have math phobia in school?
Oh, math. I didn't do well with geometry. Related algebra, I could do.
Okay.
If I worked at it, I could do it. If I did my homework.
It's not that you need math. I just feel like maybe it's a similar brain area or something like that.
Yeah.
That people who have math anxiety often, when faced with a computer, have the same kind of phobic reaction. It's not a rational reaction, but it's very much physical, and it makes it very difficult. It sounds like you've got that. It makes it very difficult for you to...
It's a phobia.
It's a phobia. And it's, I think, purely psychological. But I do acknowledge that it's real and it exists. I know many people with it. I obviously do not have it.
Obviously, Leo. Rub it in.
So, and I don't know how to cure it necessarily, except to remind you that a computer isn't actually difficult to understand, or I'll use a term from our generation, grok. It is not out to get you. It's a block that you have. It's not something that is actually real, and so maybe that helps transcend it. You probably want a gentle introduction to it. I think the best way to start using technology is to have a purpose.
Yeah. Because
what often happens with people is it's overwhelming. You don't know, you don't have one thing that you want to do, so you try to learn everything, and it's like, ugh. And especially you go to a class, they're going to teach you things like file systems and, and that's not. So is there something like photography, cooking would be one that you want to do with technology?
That sounds good. I cook a bit, and I'd like to be able to look up different recipes.
Wouldn't that be nice to have an online recipe book?
Right.
I actually use a wonderful program. It's available on every platform, computers as well as mobile devices, called Paprika.
Oh, okay. Paprika, I love that.
Paprika. And what Paprika does is great. It has a browser built in, and you can go to any, there's wonderful recipes on the web. And this is transformed cooking. I used to have 5 shelves of cookbooks. Well, I still have them because I can't throw one away. But I don't need them anymore, because if you want to look how to make, sole meunière, you type in sole meunière into the browser, and you'll find a dozen recipes. You look until you see one you like, and then you open it in Paprika, and Paprika extracts the recipe from it and turns it into a format we're used to, with ingredients, instructions. If there's a picture on the site, it'll put that in there. It might even put nutrition information in if that's available on the site. And then it adds it to your database, and you have a local database which can be synced from your phone to your tablet to your computer. And so this is an example. This is something you could get into and use and go, gosh, I get it. I like it. And in the process, completely transparently, without any confrontation, no triggering of anything of the phobia. You'll be using a computer. You'll learn a lot of the skills that translate to other computer programs just by doing that one thing. But because you're doing something you love,
yeah, it helps.
It helps a lot. It transfers the phobia to some other portion of your brain because you're going, oh, look at that Sol Meunier. That looks great.
Oh.
I want to make that.
Yeah.
Ina Garden has a good one, but so does New York Times Cooking. That's the point. You can look at the different ones and decide. So that's one thing. Photography for a lot of us is a good entry way into it as well.
Yeah.
So do you have any devices at all?
Well, a friend gave me an old laptop.
Well, that's another problem. Old is generally not good.
Well, like 10 years old.
Yeah, and so
Practice on it.
this is also part of the problem is people who have this aversion to technology will often get something cheap or something old.
Okay.
And the problem is cheap and old is harder to use than modern and new and maybe a little more expensive. Not a lot, but a little more expensive. So I would, do you think about what form factor? You don't have a smartphone?
No, I'm still on a landline.
Okay.
I miss the 60s. I'm stuck in the 60s. Where's Donna Reed when we need her?
I think for you, an iPad would be a good first computer.
Okay.
And they're
What should I pay for that?
well, they range the least expensive iPads around $329.
Okay.
That's fine.
What is the definition of an iPad?
It's from Apple. You can get them online, or you can go to the Apple Store if it's not too difficult.
Yeah.
Go into the Apple Store and look at them.
Okay.
The base model, the basic iPad, which is modern, it's got the latest processor and everything, is $329, and sometimes on sale down to $300. They go up. You can spend a lot more. There's going to be a new iPad Pro probably on Tuesday. That'll be announced, but that'll be $1,000. So that's the range. I would start with the $329 iPad.
Okay.
Put Paprika on it.
Okay.
And just use that.
Okay.
There's a browser on there. Do you get email? You probably don't get email, right?
No.
All right. Now here's the other problem. You don't have an internet connection, I'm guessing.
No.
Does the apartment have an internet?
I think they do, yeah.
Okay, so you're going to want to inquire about that. And they'll help you set it up, and there'll probably be a fee for that.
Yeah, okay. Now, my other thing I wanted to say is, years ago, when I took that seminar, it was when they gave you sort of a ruler that had all of these instructions.
Yeah, way too,
One for this.
No wonder. I'm getting a stomach ache just thinking about it.
Yes. And it was really disgusting, and I got really upset. And then I took a class at a local community college.
Yes.
And every single day it was a different thing.
Don't take a class anymore.
Okay.
And that's exactly why I'm saying pick one thing and get proficient with that one thing. iPad is very simple, very secure, nothing to worry about. As you use that Paprika and you get used to that, it's a great device for the kitchen.
Yeah.
You know, get a little smart cover so you can stand it up as an easel and look at it while you're cooking. That's a great start.
Okay.
And then you'll get proficient with that. You'll dig a little deeper into the iPad. I think it won't be long before you're fairly proficient in that. Forget the ruler with instructions on it. We don't need that anymore. Forget different things every day. Why do they do that to people? And Roger, stay in touch so I can help you on your next steps. Nice talking to you. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. All right, Mr. Scotty, you are on board for 8 minutes and 30 seconds. It's all yours.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Hey, everybody. So nice to see you as always. I went back to the web and started looking up these smart telescopes, which I did a few months ago when I first saw one.
They are pricey, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, Vaonis, which makes the Stellina for $3,000, also makes the one that's half the price. It's called the Vespera.
So this one, though, you don't look through. You
don't look through
camera.
an eyepiece.
Yeah,
that's right.
I wonder if it's good. If is it good resolution?
Well, the Stellina, which is $4,000, has a resolution of 3072 by 2080. That's the 6.4 megapixels. not very much compared to modern cameras, while the Vespera is 1920 by 1080 HD. So this was the one thing that disappointed me about these. And there's another one from, I can't remember the company. I'll tell you in a minute here. It was Unisphere or Unis something that was also not very high resolution. There's a Huini, Hiuni smart telescope. The Stellina had the highest resolution, roughly 3,000 by 2,000.
That's pretty good. That's not 4K, but it's close.
It's close. Yeah. But it's $4,000.
Yeah.
The smaller one from the same company is $1,500, and one can argue, one can debate, and I think it's a valid debate. It doesn't. These things don't have an eyepiece.
Yeah, I think that in some ways
you don't actually look through the telescope. You're looking at your phone.
Is not as exciting as looking at it optically, I think.
Well, yeah. On the other hand, that's what professional astronomers do. They don't look through an eyepiece.
Yeah.
They used to.
It's fatiguing to use an eyepiece, I have to say.
It is. And if you wear glasses like me,
it's not
it's
a good,
really hard.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to adjust it, and then somebody else looks in it, and they have to adjust it differently.
Right.
That's a pain in the butt. So, looking at it on an iPad or something like that, and if it's really cold outside, you can be toasty warm inside. But on the other hand, that kind of takes something away from the experience. It's a weird thing. I'm really intrigued by this, and I'm sure I will probably try it at some point. But Unistellar EV Scope is the other one. That is and that actually has an eyepiece. That's a reflector, and it actually has an eyepiece. So it's a fascinating thing. Let's see, Beatmaster, did I get time to check out the video about high-res audio? Yes, that you emailed me about. I did. Very interesting. The guy is making some good arguments that high-res audio isn't necessary. It doesn't really give you better audio. Now, I would argue it's much more, and he makes the same argument. It makes more difference when you're capturing audio. So if you can capture audio at higher resolution, you can capture higher dynamic range, and you can have the high cut filter, low pass filter, roll off at a more gentle angle, so you get fewer phase anomalies and problems like that. But for delivery, he makes a very good point that those of us who are adults can't even hear up to 20K. And CDs can represent 20K, no problem. And we can't even hear them, most of us. Can't even hear that high. So there's no point in encoding stuff higher still. As far as dynamic range is concerned, 16 bits gives you 96 dB. 24 bits gives you 144 dB. But that, in order to hear the difference between 96 and 144, means you have to be essentially in an anechoic chamber, soundproof room. You have to be in a super quiet environment in order to hear that much dynamic range. So he's arguing that for delivery anyway, CD quality is perfectly fine. And generally speaking, I have to agree with him. Now, I will say this, to counter that. When I was at AVS Forum, I've talked about this before, some of you might remember. I did shall we say, a non-scientific test, an informal test, that was the word I was looking for, where I, with the help of Mark Waldrop of AIX Records, who records everything in high resolution, 2496, I prepared three pairs of files. Each pair had the same recording, one of which at high res and one of which was downsampled to CD quality. And I labeled them A and B, and I didn't say which was high res and which was not. And I let people download them, and I said, play this on your system and tell me which one is high res. And and also I said, tell me the system you're playing it on, because I wanted to determine whether or not they were playing it on a system that was capable of reproducing higher res than CD audio. And I got the results back, and it was, I think I got like 80 responses back, something like that. And of the people who had systems that were not capable of reproducing high-res audio, that is above 20K, they got a hit rate, a correct rate of 50%, exactly as you would expect with random chance. Those who had a system capable of reproducing higher than 20K got a correct hit rate of 80%. Now, I will tell you again, this was informal, this was unscientific, it was not controlled. I trusted people not to look at the waveform files and see which one had content above 20K. But but that was an interesting result, I thought. Anecdotal though it may be. So yes, thank you, Beatmaster. That was a very interesting video. Half an hour long. He really got into it, which was great. Big Island AH, with these big new Unistellars and Stellina, several people can view at the same time. That's also true. Also true. Plus, they show way more detail than an ordinary telescope. Yes. I remember when, it was just a month or two ago when there was a big conjunction in the sky, Saturn and Jupiter together. And I hauled out the Celestron and set it up. Only one person at a time could watch. I would have loved to have had these.
We could put it on our big screen TV, I guess, and
you could.
I'll sit in the living room watching the stars. Thank you, Scott.
Right. You bet, Leo. See you next week.
Take care. Bye-bye. Why, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the tech guy. Time to talk computers, the internet, home theater, digital photography. We got your smartphones and smartwatches, all that jazz. 8888. Ask Leo is my phone number if you want to talk high-tech, 888-827-5536. Tuesday, I mentioned it a little earlier, with Roger, Apple's going to have an event. Their spring event, they call it Spring Loaded, which, you can spend a little too much energy reading Apple's tea leaves. They don't tell you anything, but it implies that it's going to be a big event. It's loaded, right, with stuff. Hard to know exactly what Apple's going to announce. We get some leaks from what they call the supply chain, the people who manufacture it, mostly in China. It's hard to control those leaks for Apple. Apple's pretty good at keeping its employees from telling anybody anything, but the factory workers in China, they're low paid. It's probably not too hard to get them to, leak out information. So the supply chain has some information. For instance, we're pretty sure the rumor mill, not me, I don't know anything. The rumor mill is pretty sure there'll be a new iPad, but it'll be the high-end iPads, the iPad Pro, and they're kind of due. It's a year old now. I actually love the iPad Pro. It's expensive. It's as expensive as a laptop computer, so it's really buying a laptop. Once you add the keyboard and the trackpad and the, it's really buying a laptop with a more of a iOS-like operating system. So it kind of depends on what you prefer. It's a simpler operating system. If you're used to desktop computing, it might feel a little, constricted. But on the other hand, simpler is easier to use for people like Roger. It's really, or anybody who doesn't want to be a computer whiz. It's always a good choice. The iPad Pro, we think, will have a new screen technology that Apple's going to be embracing across all its iPads and laptops. It's called Mini LED, and really it's an LCD screen, just like they've been using, but with a better backlight system, little tiny LEDs across the whole back. So it's got full array local dimming is the technology they talk about, which gives you better contrast ratio. It gives you really a better picture. So we expect mini LED iPad Pro, perhaps camera improvements. Apple's all in on LiDAR on the cameras on its newer iPhones. And on the newer iPads, I suspect they'll have LiDAR on this. And why, you might ask, do you need LiDAR? It's not a self-driving iPad, is it? No. But LiDAR gives you a very clear 3D image of the world around you. Great for photography, but great for augmented reality as well. And Apple, we know Apple's very excited about this idea of augmented reality. Best way to describe it, in an iPad, your camera's on, you're looking at the real world, so you see the real world through your camera just as you would normally, but because of this additional sensor, it's like radar, it's sending out beams of invisible light, which are bouncing back, and it's using that to map the 3D space, so the depth space. That's why it's useful for photography, because you can do better focusing, and you can have a blurry background, things like that. But as you're looking through the camera with this additional 3D information, you can put stuff, digital stuff, into the picture. So if I'm looking at my chair, my armchair across from me with my iPad camera, with the LiDAR on, it doesn't just see a 2D armchair. It sees a three-dimensional object. It knows how deep it is. It knows exactly where the seat is, where the armrests are. So it could put somebody sitting in that armchair, and it would really appear that they're sitting there if it's done properly. That their bottom would be on the seat, their arms would be on the armrests. It would look real. You put down the iPad. There's nobody in the chair, but you bring the iPad back up. You see the camera, you see the image, but you also see somebody, Abe Lincoln, sitting in the chair. So Apple's very excited about this. Eventually, I think they hope to put it in spectacles. So you put it on your eyes, you're walking around it just like eyeglasses. You're seeing the real world, but they can superimpose Abe Lincoln into that real world. I don't know why I'm picking on Honest Abe, but anyway, that's the idea of augmented reality. So I think we'll see some developments there. Apple will also, for sure, we know this, announced the new version of its operating systems, particularly iOS 14.5, iPadOS 14.5, tvOS 14.5, watchOS, I guess I don't know what the equivalent is in Watch World, 7.5 or whatever. The big deal on this, and the thing that Facebook and others are very nervous about, is this is going to give you more privacy information than ever before. When you upgrade your iPhone or your iPad to 14.5, anytime you install a new application, the application will have to ask your permission to track you for advertising purposes. This is terrifying to Facebook. They don't want anybody to have that choice. You've always had the choice. If you dig deep enough into the settings on the iPhone, you can turn off their ID for advertising, IDFA, the tracking. But it's hidden, and most people don't know it's there, and they don't turn it off. If you're posed with that question every time you install an app, this app wants to track you for advertising purposes. Would you like to allow that? What are you going to pick? Facebook's afraid, and I think they're right. Most people are going to say no. Absolutely not. And they're afraid it's going to hurt their business. Of course, they're not saying it's bad for us. Facebook isn't. No, they're saying it's bad for the small businesses that advertise on Facebook. I disagree with that. I don't think small businesses are benefiting from tracking. Big businesses are, and Facebook is, for sure. And I don't think, as far as I'm concerned, it's okay if Facebook doesn't make quite as much money because people get to choose. Oh, Facebook, we don't want consumers to choose. Yeah, let consumers choose. I might choose to leave tracking on. I don't have a problem with it, but I think the choice, absolutely, the choice should be yours. So that's going to be the big thing that's going to change on Tuesday. We'll see if there's a Facebook-a-palooza. That's what they're worried about. You'll see privacy labels now on all apps, too, that they'll show you exactly what information they collect. That's going to be little bit of a revelation for some people. And it's going to be bad news for Google and others, but it's good. I think it's good. I think we should know. Why should they hide it? What do they have to hide? That's what they always ask you. Oh, you don't need privacy. What are you hiding? What do you have to hide? Okay, what do you have to hide? Facebook, Google. What do you have to hide? Microsoft. What do you have to hide? Then we're turning the tables, aren't we? There may be other hardware. There are rumors. Apple is supposedly, a year ago, we learned that Apple was going to make something called AirTags, which is a little Bluetooth tracker that you could put on keys or remote controls or bicycles to keep track of where they are. It'll work with the Find My. They recently changed Find My iPhone to just Find My. That's a little hint. They've already announced that Find My will now work with Van Moof electric bicycles, other trackers, not Apple's, not Tile. Tile's been complaining about Apple's move into this business. So those are called AirTags, Apple AirTags. We think they'll be announced on Tuesday. Maybe a new Apple TV. They're really due. Should have talked about this with Scott. They're really due for a new Apple TV, especially in this case. The big difference, and we've seen some evidence of this in the code base, the actual programming code for iOS or tvOS 14.5. For the first time, 120 hertz support. That's a big deal. Scott's talked about that before, this high frame rate. Not a lot of content in high frame rate, but that's because there weren't a lot of ways to play it back. In fact, when the high frame rate versions of Gemini Man, the Will Smith bomb, the turkey, came out last year, there were only 5 theaters in the country that could play it, that had the 120 hertz capability. Well, now everybody with a new Apple TV will be able to play it. That should make a big difference. So we'll watch for that. Maybe new MacBooks? Don't know. Possible? Maybe? Don't know. So just a little preview of some of the things coming up on Tuesday. Of course, next week I'll know. And I won't have to guess. And we all can talk about what Apple's announced. Before we go on with the Tech Guy Show, I do want to mention our sponsor. This is such a cool technology. I got my first Helm server some time ago. Geary from Helm came on the old new Screensavers show. The old new Screensavers show. And showed me this. I had actually read about it on Hacker News. I thought this is the coolest thing. It solved a big problem. I don't want somebody else to have access to my email. I want to control my own email. The problem is, it's hard to run your own email server. Most internet service providers forbid it. It's against the rules. They block outbound mail because they don't want you to become a spammer, set up spam servers on your system at home. It's also there are other issues. There's some significant issues. Most inbound companies like Gmail and Yahoo will just refuse email from your home address, your home IP address. Again, they're worried about spam. So running a home email server is tricky. Of course, there's the software problem and all of that. Helm solves that. They created a personal server that you can own, you can use out of your house, works with every internet service provider, and it's your mail provider, it's your file server. Privacy is suddenly in your hands once again. Helm has just announced their new Helm server. The V2, version 2 is out. V2 pricing starts 60% lower than V1, the one I bought. It's only $199. I think I paid $500 for the old one, so that's great. And it's twice the value, double the storage, double the memory. It was very cool. In fact, I have it here somewhere. It's still running, I think. It's probably in the other room on the network. But it was this cool triangle design. But now their new design is easier to mount in a rack. It's rack mountable. It's passively cooled. There's no fans. It's really great. Comes in a variety of flavors, including a 512 gigabyte and a terabyte capacity. And all of the models will support expanded storage with an external drive. So you can it's basically unlimited storage. This is critical. You know, you don't want these big companies to have your data, whether it's your email, whether it's your files. Store it on the Helm. Helm is engineered to secure, protect, and give you control over your data. Full disk encryption. The keys are managed by a secure enclave. It has secure boot, so hackers can't get to it. They can't modify it. The inbound and outbound traffic is secured with TLS. Certificates are generated from Let's Encrypt. And I love the system, and they've kept this, the proximity-based two-factor. You put the Helm software on your phone, and then using Bluetooth LE, you have to be next to your server to set it up and to create the accounts. Once you create the accounts, you can use it with any email program, of course, or any other program. But this is really great. It means no one can create an account on your Helm unless they're standing right next to it. I love that. We call it proximity-based two-factor authentication, and it uses the Helm app. You also get, and I have my Helm USB key here, this holds the crypto keys to the data on that Helm. Only I have these. This is a backup of them, so they're on the Helm, and then I have these. And that allows encrypted offsite backups on the Helm servers that are only accessible to you because only you have the unique private security key. So, truly private email, let's recap. Truly private email, safe calendars and contacts. Again, no one else has access, just you. Secure files and photos. They use Nextcloud, which is a great open source project. So Nextcloud can live on your server as well. So no more, you don't have to worry about Google Drive or Dropbox or iCloud. You can have basically unlimited cloud storage. It's on your cloud, no one else's. And everything Helm does is security first and foremost. Your data is safe, secure, and only ever accessible to you. Now, once you buy the Helm, there's a $99 a year annual service subscription. That's to pay for the encrypted backups, the ongoing state-of-the-art protection, the secure storage of your encrypted backups, access to new services. By the way, it's a secret. They got some new services coming you're going to love. They can do even more. And, of course, because they're running the email through their protected IP addresses, they guarantee email delivery, which is really nice. It's not coming from your IP address, so that's even better. They also will do domain registration and management for you, so you can have a custom email domain. Again, the new V2 starts at $199, $99 a year service, although you can cut the service cost, and I'll tell you how to do that in just a second. It's uncompromising personal data privacy and security. No wonder it was named one of Time's 100 Best Inventions back in 2019 when we had them on the new screensavers. Privacy should be a right, not a setting. If you really want to protect what matters, this is a very easy but very secure way to do it. Right now, if you purchase the Helm V2, you'll get free shipping if you go to the Helm, THEHELM, thehelm.com/techguy. The coupon will be applied at checkout. Shipping is free for addresses in the U.S. If you already have a Helm, or once you get your Helm, here's how you can save on the yearly subscription. They have a great referral program. You'll get $25 off. A friend will get $25 off. Thehelm.com/techguy. I think it's a really good deal. The Helm. I love the idea of completely private email, file storage, calendars, and contacts. And more to come. Stay tuned. Thehelm.com/techguy. We thank him so much for supporting the Tech Guy Show. Thank you for supporting us by using that address, and you'll get free shipping too. Thehelm.com/techguy. Now back to the Tech Guy Show. Leo Laporte, the Tech Guy. 8888 Ask Leo, the phone number. If you want to talk high tech, I'm here. Website where the answers go along with the questions, techguylabs.com. Don't worry, no charge, no sign up. It's wide open, the way the web used to be. techguylabs.com. Warwick from LA is next. Hi, Warwick. Leo Laporte, the Tech Guy. Hello, Warwick.
Hey, Leo. I had a quick question. I'm converting my hard drives to SSD.
Yay!
Yeah, it's great because it really speeds up a lot of my other computers.
It's a great way to take old technology, and make it boot fast and everything. It's great. Love it.
Exactly. And I had a simple question where it's like, should I be defragmenting my hard drives prior to transferring everything? No?
No. You don't. When it transfers, it's doing a logical copy. It doesn't say, oh, put sector 1 and then sector 460 and then sector. It just copies the file. In fact, that's one way to defrag is copy from one drive to another. The copy will be completely defragmented. It'll be written in order. That's point one, and that would be from a spinning drive to a spinning drive. Point two is, and this is one of the reasons SSDs are so fast, just like RAM, solid-state drives are random access. There's no seek time. So there's no such thing as fragmentation on a solid-state drive.
Gotcha.
Sectors can be anywhere. It's an equal length of time to get to any one of them, and it's essentially zero. The access time is essentially zero. So it's great. It's like reading from memory. So that's the reason to do this is boot times are going to speed up, load times are going to speed up, save times will speed up. Everything gets much faster just because you replaced a spinning drive with an SSD. The next question, which I will answer for you even though you did not ask, but I think people want to know, is are SSDs as reliable and as long-lived as spinning drives? And the answer is absolutely. Now they are, perhaps more so. No moving parts to wear out. There was initially concern that SSDs might have limited data write capabilities. It's not a problem. I don't buy a computer with spinning drives anymore. Well, I take it back. I just bought a big PC. The boot drive is an SSD, but because SSD is still a little pricier for capacity, this one, and I got it from Alienware, so this is how they built it, had both an SSD and a spinning drive. The spinning drive is for stuff you don't need fast access to. And it's, things like, frankly, backups. It's nice to have both, but you don't need both. Honestly, any laptop I buy today, SSD only. I don't see us buying spinning drives except for massive capacity much going forward. They're the floppies of the future. So enjoy. The only one thing I would say, Warwick, if it's a really old computer, you might not see as much benefit because the older computer interfaces aren't very fast. They were built for slow spinning drives, so they won't take advantage of the full throughput of an SSD. Ideally, you've got PCI, maybe, PCI 2, 3, or 4 to really get the benefit of that speed. But boy, they're inexpensive. I mean, the prices have dropped so dramatically. The only reason that you would even consider buying a spinning drive is because their prices have dropped as dramatically. Somebody in the chat room saying you can get an 8 terabyte. I'm not sure I'd buy an 8 terabyte drive, but you can an 8 terabyte Seagate. They're on sale at Costco right now for $120. 8 terabytes. It's 8 trillion bytes. It's kind of a mind-boggling amount. It's 8,000 gigabytes. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. So I would use that maybe for backup, or if you have a network-attached storage device and you want a lot of capacity, that kind of thing. But honestly, SSDs for boot, for running programs. I play a game. I'm so fond of this game, by the way, called Valheim, and I think it's still pre-release. I don't think it's out fully yet, but I moved it I accidentally installed it on Steam, and I accidentally installed it on the spinning disk, the second disk of my Alienware. And so I moved it over to my SSD, and it's noticeably different. I mean, the load times are so much faster. It makes a big difference. You're going to love it, Warwick. You're going to love it. Cindy, Carson, California is next. Hi, Cindy. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Oh, hello. How exciting.
How exciting for me. How are you?
I'm good, and I'll be better if we can get through my issues. I have some silly computer questions.
Okay.
I have a new HP Pavilion, and it has SSD, which I am excited about.
Yes, you will notice a difference, yeah.
Yes, okay. My problem is I wasn't a big backup person, and I've been listening to you, and I said, okay, I'm going to do this. I got my drive.
Good.
I backed up on a Wednesday. My laptop died on Friday.
Oh, my God.
Yes, so I went and got a new one.
Aren't you glad you had a backup?
I know, so am I, and that's my question. I called them to ask for advice, and I had to make a folder on my desktop. But my question is, I don't know how to find things like specifically Excel and Word. I don't know where to look for things.
Yeah, you're going to want to maybe do some organizational stuff afterwards. I've never had to restore from iDrive, so I actually don't know what happens. It sounds, I would guess inside the folder, the iDrive restore folder, the original folders, you should, I would think, have the original folders of the backup. If not, if all the files are just in a jumble.
No, well, when you click on it, it opens. It says C. Then you click on C.
Good.
And it says users. You click on users.
Oh, good.
It has my name.
Yeah.
And then it says desktop documents,
Perfect.
music, pictures, videos. But
Perfect.
I don't know.
So you have that's the map of folders that you had on the old system. On the new system, they'll be the same. There just won't be anything in them. So you open the desktop in the restore folder, and then you open desktop in your actual computer. It'll be in users, your name, desktop, and you copy the files from the desktop restore to the desktop on the computer.
So it's not.
And then they'll be just like your old computer. And the reason they do that, they don't want to overwrite files on the new computer with the old files. So they make a folder, a restore folder, that they put everything in, and then they leave it to you to copy them from downloads to downloads, from documents to documents, etc. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
No.
Sorry, I had to take a break, but we're still on, and we're still talking, and we're on the podcast, so there's still people listening even. So,
yeah, so
does that make sense?
All that, but I don't know where to look to find it. Or should I just type search and do Word and see what happens?
Yeah, so all your Word files, yes, do a search for docx or DOC files, or do a search for XLS for Excel files, and you'll see, and search within that restore folder, and you'll see that they've been put in wherever Word puts those. And there will be, if you've installed Word and Excel on your new computer.
Yes, I have.
And you might even have to make a file just so Excel will go, oh, I better create a place to save that. And then you'll have the analogous folder inside your computer that you have in the restore folder, and you can copy from that to that. There is, I hesitate in telling you because it's so geeky. Windows does have a way of saying where your app data is stored. The app data folder, there is a synonym for it, which is %appdata%. But I wouldn't spend a lot of energy worried about that. That's really a hardcore thing. It's unfortunate. Windows kind of obscures where stuff is, to be honest with you. If you have a hard time finding it, open Excel on your new computer, create a dummy document called, findme.xls, figure out where that is using the find command in Windows, and then copy. You'll have the same name folder on your restore, inside that restore, C, home, users, all of that stuff. You'll find the same thing, and you can copy one to the other like that. Oh, okay. It's a little bit of work. It's a little bit of work. It should be in documents. Yeah, it should be in documents. You should be able to find it.
Okay. So the actual program will be there, or I'm just
no, just the documents. So this is important to understand. You're not restoring the programs. You're only restoring the data. You don't want the programs. You just reinstall Office, and you've got them all. So they go somewhere else. That's not where your data is stored. It's stored in the users folder. So the data is completely distinct from the app.
Now that makes sense. Okay, great. Thanks for clarifying.
And you only want to back up the data because it's silly to back up the apps.
Right, because I have a new one.
You got a new one. It's fresh.
Yeah.
It's the current version. Very rarely do you want to back up anything that's you theoretically only back up stuff you created.
Okay. Good. Now, can I ask another small question?
Sure.
I do a lot of crafting, and I have thousands of fonts. What is the difference, though, between OpenType and TrueType?
OpenType came from Adobe. TrueType is a Microsoft technology. From the point of view of the user, none.
Oh, okay. Because they offer both when you go to install them.
You don't need to install them both. Pick one.
Okay. Now, one has is a larger file than the other. Does that matter?
I think the heading and everything is the same. TrueType is the native format for Microsoft Windows. If you have the choice, there may be more hinting and other things. If you really care about fonts, do the OTF.
Okay. And I do.
That's why they're bigger. They have hint. Okay, you care. So you know what hinting is, for instance? Ligatures, things like that. Sometimes it's the same font, but it'll render a little bit better using the OTF.
Okay.
So TrueType is native to Windows. OTF is open. It stands for open.
The original one, huh?
Yeah. OTF is, if they've got OTF, it means they're from a professional foundry or Adobe, and they probably have more data in there, yeah.
Okay. All right.
They include the TTF just for compatibility. One quick one.
Okay. I need a free PDF or low-cost PDF program.
Edge will read PDFs on Windows, so you don't need anything to read them. If you want to create them...
I want to create them, yes.
Yeah, there's quite a few. I like Foxit, F-O-X-I-T.
Okay.
F-O-X-I-T. He's been everywhere, man. He's breathing the mountain air, man. He's a fully vaccinated man. Johnny Jett, our travel guru. You and I both. Two shots. Hello, Johnny.
Watching 2 weeks after the last one?
Not yet. I got it Wednesday. And weirdly, no reaction. No.
I had no reaction either.
Nothing.
I had Moderna.
Yeah, me too. I feel let down a little bit.
I don't. My wife's getting her second one tomorrow or next day.
You can really knock you for a loop. Rod Pyle, our space guy, 10 days after he got his Pfizer, he couldn't move. So, I'm glad. I guess I'm glad I had no reaction. A slight headache. My arm's still a little sore. That's about it. Anyway, so it's not 2 weeks yet, though. Although you immediately start your immunity goes up every day, and full immunity in about 2 weeks after you get the shot. So I'm excited.
Well, I haven't changed my patterns really.
No,
I'm taking baby steps.
Baby steps.
Obviously still wearing a mask. I traveled this week though. I went to Laguna Beach, Laguna Ritz-Carlton, actually. Ritz-Carlton.
Oh, that's a nice Ritz-Carlton. Yeah.
I was speaking at a conference, the Organic Spa Magazine's wellness conference, and I thought it'd be cool to, Zoom in from somewhere cool. Although there's conferences going on at the hotel.
Yeah.
I was happy to see that they're starting to do small weddings. There was a Jack in the Box conference. Were
there a lot of guys with ping pong ball heads walking around? I don't know. It seems.
It's funny because my son was walking by and he saw the sign Jack. He's like, "My name's Jack."
I'm Jack in the Box.
Can he be your new spokesperson?
Yeah, really. I'm Jack. Hey, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
So our son, senior in high school, poor kid, spent the whole senior year of remote schooling, right? Won't get to walk, I guess. I don't know what the story is. But, they had the homecoming game yesterday, and you had to watch it on Zoom or something. That's too bad. But anyway, poor kid. We asked him, well, as traditional in our family, senior graduating, what do you want to take a senior trip? He said, I want to go to Hawaii this summer. Can we?
Definitely you can go. It's going to be packed, though. I mean, that is one of the
It's off-season. Summer, it's so hot. Nobody wants to go to Hawaii in July.
No, are you kidding me? That summer is their busy season.
Oh, I thought it was too hot for
You would
people.
think that. I used to think that. But then, the slowest month for Hawaii, if there's even one, it's October. But the busiest is probably July. I'm guessing on that one. But
great.
If you're going to try and get a car...
No.
Car rentals, you can't even get them on Maui right now.
You can't get car rentals anywhere anymore. What's going on with that?
It's because all these car companies were getting crushed. They sold them off. They can't get them back in time. They
sold their fleet?
Yeah, most of them did. They didn't want to pay for parking. They didn't want to.
Sure,
they needed to make money, so they sold them. And I was just looking at different places to rent a car. It's $300 a day in some places. So what people are doing in Hawaii, they're actually buying used cars and renting them out to people, which is crazy.
No, we weren't going to rent a car. Well, actually, we were thinking of driving to Hana. Now we're not. You just fixed.
Although you can use the app in the website Turo, Turo, which does have
we got it
insurance.
last time we were there we were going to Maui. We rented a Jeep because you need a Jeep for the trip to Hana, the road to Hana. It was so fun. I really enjoyed it. And Hana's beautiful. But Michael doesn't want that. He wants a resort. So I thought we'd go to somewhere in Wailea or maybe Kapalua.
Listen, it'll be beautiful. It all depends. I mean, so some of these, they're at capacity. I mean, they're not at capacity. They're at
we may not be able to
capacity.
get a room, is what you're saying.
So you have to make restaurant reservations in advance, sometimes weeks in advance, because they're only taking 30%, 50%, depending on the place. So make sure you make your reservations.
What's your favorite in Maui?
My favorite
You're going to say
restaurant?
no, favorite resort.
Well, the best hotel, which I actually haven't stayed there, the Four Seasons.
Is it?
Is supposedly the best.
That's the one we were looking at.
I stayed at the Ritz-Carlton. It's okay. It's nice, but it can't compete with that. I'd go to Lanai. I mean, the Four Seasons Lanai is awesome.
The little island.
Yeah, that's where I would go.
That's the one. Who owns that? Steve Ballmer or somebody owns
No,
that?
Larry Ellison.
Larry Ellison of Oracle owns that. Yeah.
And he's supposedly moving there. But anyway, all these destinations, Hawaii, Florida, Montana is going to be crazy this summer.
Everywhere.
Every airline is now flying direct.
We're
nonstop.
it's the roaring 20s, kids. It's actually happening.
Yeah, but speaking of Montana,
Coming back.
Today's National Park Day. So
Yay. Free admission to the national
admission
parks.
today.
Yay.
There's 6 days of the year you can get free admission. Today's one of them, but it's National Park Week, and they just launched a app called National Park Service, and this app has all 423 parks. Before you had to download an app for each park. Now you can have it all. It's like a one-stop shop, and it's free on Android and Apple. And it has everything from accessibility information to alerts, audio tours, hike suggestions, hiking, lodging, restaurant hours. You can even become a junior ranger. And the best part everyone's talking about is, there's maps to download for offline use. And you can go on a guided tour of the Star Wars filming locations in Death Valley by just downloading that map.
What do we have to do? I know European and Asian travel might be limited still for a while, but to go to Hawaii, for instance, do we have to have proof of a vaccine, that kind of thing? Or
well, they're talking about the governor just pushed it to maybe June. They were going to say May. If you were vaccinated, you wouldn't need to do the
quarantine
testing 72 hours in advance. You need to go to the Hawaii website. I think it's hawaii.gov. Or go Hawaii.com.
Or the hotel will know as well.
No, but you have to follow the Hawaii government's
rules.
website.
Yeah.
You cannot go to an outside source. Otherwise, they will turn you down. You will not either get on the plane, or when you get there, you have to go around or quarantine, go back or to quarantine. And you don't want that. I mean, actually, I was just watching our local news here in LA, KTLA, and the newscaster was saying that she was planning on going to Hawaii, and she didn't get her tests back in time, and she had to cancel her trip. So time everything right? And that's very important for Hawaii. But, obviously...
National
Hawaii's,
parks, you don't have to get a test. You just drive there.
Yeah, you definitely don't need a test for it.
Go there. Join the national parks.
No, you're right. I was just looking at my my mail, and Costco has $50 off Alaska Airlines flights. You can do it online. So if you spend $500 or more... Or just buy a gift certificate for $500 and you'll get $50 off. So it's $450. So if you're flying Alaska, that's a great way to save a little bit of money, 10%. What else can I tell you?
This is exciting. We're coming back. Don't rush though. Get the shot first. Take care. Still wear the masks. We don't want to screw it up. We're getting so close to the end, right?
I know. Well, my wife's from Toronto, and Ontario is getting crushed.
I know. It's this new UK variant spreading like Michigan. It's all red. Spreading like crazy.
You don't think we have it in California? I mean, there's definitely
we do.
more
My
travelers
son
in
has
California.
it. Some guys from Michigan came out. He went to a party 3 days after he got the first shot. Got COVID-19 from these guys from Michigan. I'm sure it was the UK variant.
Yeah,
he's fine now, by the way.
Here?
He's fine.
We have flights going every day from LA.
Yeah.
And San Francisco.
Yeah, he's fine. So, Johnny, I'm getting excited, but this is very important about the rental cars. They're very scarce everywhere, so don't count on that.
It could cost you a lot more for a rent-a-car than it can for your hotel and your flight. So
Are we still saving on flights, or airlines still trying to get people on board?
No, I mean, depending on a destination, you want to use your miles if the flight's expensive, because it's a great time to use your miles. But, every day the flights are going up in price. They're not like they used to be.
Yeah. JohnnyJet.com is the best place to go to learn about this stuff. He's got free newsletters, including special flight deals. It's a great way to keep up on this. And, of course, his podcast is at JohnnyJet.com/podcast. He's on YouTube, Johnny Jet, Instagram, Johnny Jet, Twitter, Johnny Jet. He is the one, the only Johnny Jet. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you.
It's exciting. It's exciting. So, I have so many questions for you. So I had no idea. I thought, July will be easy, because it used to be it was very hot and nobody wanted to go. But I'm sure if we could afford this Four Seasons Lanai, it'd probably be the only people there. It's probably cheap.
Not a chance.
No?
That place will
sure
be.
it's really
that place
expensive.
might be sold out right now. I'll tell you. To tell you the truth.
Oh my God! Really? Wow.
Let me just Google.
No, it's all right. I'm on the site. I'll just look at the dates that we're thinking about.
Yeah, I've been fortunate to stay there multiple times, and I love it because
you've stayed there multiple times.
I have. I mean, fortunately, I've been hosted. Every time they remodel or something, they would fly me out.
Is it? It's not like the one in Wailea, though. It's like a little more rustic, maybe.
I've never been. Actually, I've had dinner once in the Wailea one. That was years ago. I used to go to Hawaii 3 times a year.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
And
it's expensive. Holy moly, it's really expensive.
Yeah,
Holy
it's not
cow.
It's got to be at least $1,200. It's got to be at least $1,200 a night.
The only rooms that are open for 3 people, the lowest cost one I could find is $4,000. The Ohana Garden View Suite.
That's just because everyone wants to go to Hawaii right now.
Yeah.
And
these are beautiful
got
rooms,
the money.
though. Just kind of Asian influence. It's beautiful.
How about for just a one room, two people?
These are for 2 people.
Okay, I was gonna say. So, but listen, there's 2 Four Seasons on.
I know. We'll stay there, and we'll let Michael stay in Wailea.
Yeah,
probably wouldn't be.
No. There's 2 Four Seasons on Lanai.
Oh, there are.
There's one up in the mountains, which is only for adults, and there's one on the beach.
Oh.
So I think you're looking at
this is on the beach because it's got an oceanfront suite.
Okay, so that's different.
Yeah.
Because the one up in the mountains is more expensive, and it's more like a spa. It's holistic.
He can stay down there, and we'll go to the mountain. This is beautiful. It looks very Asian, and
it is
very pretty.
It is very.
Yeah, and Hyatt bought our favorite place in Hana. They have
Nobu there.
Yeah, Nobu's there. I love Nobu.
I mean, every time I've been there, you'll see celebrities. They're just hanging out by the pool. I mean, it's.
I wonder if there's a Four Seasons landscaping in Lanai. I could stay there. Probably pretty.
That is.
Johnny.
I'm not even going to go there.
Johnny. Great to talk to you. I'm so glad things are coming back. Yay.
Fingers crossed.
All right.
Buddy.
I called the wrong place. It's the Four Seasons Total Landscaping. Made a mistake. I didn't even get that. I got the low-cost one. Have a good week. And you're traveling now this week, are you?
I am. I'm
secret
scheduled to
destination?
get on my first flight this week.
You've been 2 weeks since you got your second job?
Yep.
Yeah.
2 weeks, a couple days ago.
So you're safe, basically.
I feel good.
Yeah.
But I'm not bulletproof, obviously.
No. But no one's bulletproof. You could, it would be ironic if you got the flu and died. I mean, and no one's bulletproof,
Right.
But I think you're good. I think you're good. Yeah.
All right.
Take care, baby.
Take care.
Have a good one. See you later. Bye-bye. Leo Laporte, the big band tech guy, 8888. Ask Leo, the phone number. V's next, Huntington Beach, California. Hi, V.
Hi.
Thanks for hanging on. What can I do for you?
Just a quick question. I bought a Netgear router.
Yeah?
A Nighthawk.
Yeah, nice.
And I really like it. It's been working out really well. I don't know a whole lot about this stuff, so thought I'd call and ask.
That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for.
Do I need to buy any extra protection? Does anyone need to buy any extra protection on routers and technology stuff? Or is that all just a sales gimmick?
Well, so if you're using Windows,
I use my school computers, and everything is Apple.
All Macintosh. Okay.
Pretty much,
yeah. You're a teacher or you're in school?
Yes, sir.
Oh, nice. What do you teach?
Yeah. I teach first grade, and
I love first graders. They're so cute.
They're adorable. So I've got 16 in my classroom and 7 still Zooming at home.
Are they happy to be back, though? I bet first graders, it must have been so hard for them.
Oh, yeah. And then the ones that Zoom, they tell me they love me before we
Of course they love you. Oh, yeah.
They're really adorable.
Oh, so adorbs. They're still innocent. They're still beautiful.
Yes, there's a lot of love. I get lots of pictures, artwork.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
Do they start reading in first grade? Is that too soon?
Oh, yeah, no. Some of them are already at second and third grade reading level.
Wow, that's so cool.
So once you start preschool, do really well.
Yeah. See, there you go. Early childhood education. Very important.
That's right.
Very
0
important.
to 5 is really important.
And you, though, my dear, you're teaching people to read. That is, that's like the most important
I love it.
thing you learn in life,
Yes.
That's so great. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm swept away. But let's talk about your Nighthawk router instead of your cute first graders. So you don't usually there's no security, or you don't usually put security on the router. But you should, as soon as you're using the internet, you're always a little bit at risk. You're playing in traffic a little bit. The good news is Macintoshes are very carefully designed to protect you from the most obvious boo-boos. It's still possible, though. You should be prudent. I'm sure you are about the sites you visit. But the biggest thing you got to worry about. There's a few things the burden is on everybody to do, and it's not buy security software, especially on a Mac. Number one, keep everything up to date, and the Apple will update it for you. But always. Applications, browsers, anything that goes online, they have to be kept up to date. That's one of the reasons all the browsers now, including Apple's Safari, Google's Chrome, Firefox, Edge, they all update automatically behind the scenes. In fact, from time to time, you'll get a little notice that says, "Oh, could you close and reopen the browser? We'd like to update." And that's good.
I like that feature.
I do too. That's critical. So anything that goes on.
Remember to update everything.
Yeah. You can't be expected to remember to do that, but that's really important. If you get updates, do it. Do them.
Yeah.
That's the number one job.
I remember my students' names at this rate,
I know. I can imagine. I don't know how you do that.
Every year we get new names, and they spell them all differently.
I know. I don't know how you do that.
I tell them, it's tough. I tell them in advance. I said, next year I'm not going to remember your name, just so you know. So when you say hi to me, tell me your name. I see you in second grade.
They say, Miss V, you don't remember me? I was your favorite last year.
I remember the faces. So updating definitely not going to be.
I recognize you, but it's a blur. So let's put it this way, V. They remember you. You're going to run into them in the grocery store in 20 years, and their face is going to light up, and they're going to say, "It's Miss V. She taught me how to read." I hope they remember that. Anyway, let's see. Okay, getting back to what you need to do. Updates number one. Number two.
My own router. This is my first time.
Yeah. Now on the router, there are some things to do. So I'll give you, and we have this online at techguylabs.com, but I'll give you the list. The router also should be kept up to date. Periodically, the Nighthawks, I think, up to date, but periodically, you need to know how to get into the router. The router has its own address on the network. It's usually 192.168. something, usually 1.10 or 1.1 or 1.100. It'll say in the little pamphlet they gave you. So you log into that. That gives you the interface, the controls for that router. It's in your browser on your computer, but you're looking at the router. That's how you configure it. So the first thing you want to do is change the password to get into that. If there's a default, it's like the login is admin, the password is admin. You want to change that to something. It doesn't have to be super good, but just not the default. That's one. Yeah. Change the default password. Two, you want to turn off. There are a few things I want you to turn off. One is called WAN administration. It lets you access the router and change the settings, just like you're doing from within your network, but from the outside world. You don't need that, and it's giving a bad guy an opportunity. So turn off WAN.
Okay, the LAN and
WAN, wide area network. Sometimes it has different names, but that's the most common. WAN administration. You also want to turn off UPnP, Universal Plug and Play. That's something Microsoft got router manufacturers to put in there so people with Xboxes could start games, start servers. It's not good. It means anything inside your network can open up a hole in your router to the outside world. You don't want that. If a bad guy gets in your network, you don't want him doing that. So turn off WAN administration and UPnP. Turn on WPA2 encryption. That's so that you have a password to log into your router. You don't want anybody to see what you're doing. You don't want anybody to use your router. So turn that on. So you're going to change the password so that the administrator password is something only you know. You're going to create a new password for WPA2. That's the password you use every time you bring a new machine home. You log in. You'd only have to do that once. But that encrypts the data between your machine and the router. And then periodically check to make sure the firmware is up to date, because that router's firmware does get out of date, and that can open a hole in your system. Your Mac actually is pretty secure, but the router could be under attack. There are older routers that are not getting fixed, and that is a problem. But you have a brand new Nighthawk. They're very good. And Netgear, I'm pretty sure, I haven't used it in a while, but I'm pretty sure Netgear automatically updates those. If not, though, in that interface, it'll be in the advanced section. There'll be a firmware update, and you can check to see if you have the latest firmware.
Got it. Okay.
All right, so that's the 5 things. We'll put that up on the website. I think I got everything in there. UPnP.
Wait a minute. I counted 4. So would 5 be the Netgear advanced firmware update?
Yes, that's 5 update.
Directions. I just taught directions this past week.
You're good. You're good.
Keeping track.
Directions are good. That's what my son always had problems with. His 4th grade teacher says he only can do the first 3 steps of anything. He never gets to step 4.
Okay.
You got that from me.
We got to work on that.
Yeah, we got to work on that. He got that from me. So.
Yeah, you can practice that in Hawaii when you all go.
Change the admin password. Turn off remote or WAN administration. Turn off UPnP. Turn on WPA2 encryption. Give it a good password. That's your login from all the other machines when you want to use your Wi-Fi. And then 5, as with everything else, keep it up to date. That's really important.
Got it. Okay.
Boy, it's good. Teaching a teacher is easy. You know how to follow instructions, Miss V.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Hey, seriously, thank you for what you do. You do, I think, the most important job in the country. And, of course, the least appreciated and sometimes the least paid. And I'm so glad. I so appreciate it. I'm sure the kids and their parents appreciate it, too. But thank you.
Thank you so much. And you are a teacher in your own right as well.
You know, my father was a professor. My grandmother and others were teachers. I grew up in a family of teachers, and I have huge respect for it.
You're teaching us.
And I guess that's my job a little bit,
Nice to talk to you. Inner nerd today.
Hey, it's a great pleasure talking to you, V. Enjoy your summer. I hope you get a little time off, and next year they're going to be back.
Yes, sir. Can't wait.
All those little mush minds back to be molded.
Yeah.
Aw. 1st grade. Wow. That's awesome.
Lovable.
Yeah. Thanks, V.
Okay, have a good one.
Pleasure talking to you. Take care. 8888 Ask Leo. That's the phone number. I think I got all 5 steps. Our scribe James DeRuvo will put that up on the website at techguylabs.com. And James, if I left anything out, add that, will you? I can't remember. techguylabs.com. Leo Laporte, the Tech Guy. More to come after this. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the Tech Guy. The vaccinated tech guy, 8888. Ask Leo. We're going to have to start adding that to our business cards, right? 888-827-5536. Toll free from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. Outside that area, you do want to call using Skype or something like that. It should still be toll free. 888-827-5536. There is a website associated with the show that has the phone number there. It has our IRC channel, has all the other ways you can interact. But that's good to know, and maybe keep them in the top of your head, because if you hear something on the show, everything will be written there by James DeRufo. And later, after the fact, we add audio and video from the show, too, so you can actually watch or listen to the question and answer. And then we'll have all the links there and everything. And it's free. There's no sign up. TechGuyLabs.com. You don't have to write it down. It's easy to remember. I'm the tech guy, right? And I have a lab. I'm in the lab. But there's two of them. So it's Tech Guy Labs, plural. I got two labs. One here, one there. TechGuyLabs.com. And that's there for you, so there's no sign up or anything. 8888 Ask Leo, the phone number. Actually, as I'm mentioning TechGuyLabs.com, I should probably mention that I do have another job. Yes, I know you think, well, what a good life you have, Leo. You just come in on the weekends, do a radio show for a couple hours, go home, rake in the dough. No, my friends. No, I'm a working man. We have a podcast network. I talk about tech all week. We have a podcast network, and that's at twit.tv. That's really a little more hardcore than this show. It's for the real enthusiasts. So if there's MacBreak Weekly and Windows Weekly and Tech News Weekly and iOS Today and, Security Now. And so there's, the big news show is This Week in Tech. So there's a whole bunch of them. In fact, that's what TWiT stands for, This Week in Tech. So it's twit.tv. And if you are an enthusiast or you just want more tech stuff, it's not all with me. We have other hosts too. If you want more tech stuff, go to the website and you can find some stuff there. Twit.tv. 8888 Ask Leo, the phone number. That's the number. John in Fallbrook called. He's next on the show. Hi, John.
Hey, Leo. How are you?
I am great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing great. Thanks. Thanks for taking my call, by the way. I appreciate it.
Oh, good. Of course. What else would I do?
Yeah.
I'd have to talk the whole time. That wouldn't be no fun.
I guess you're right. I can understand that.
I am very grateful. I used to do an overnight talk show, and you really appreciate having somebody call in, let me tell you. It's hard.
You were competing with the big competitor. What is it? The Woo Woo channel.
Coast to Coast? Yeah. Yeah, it was a local show. I didn't do it very, very long. I found it very challenging because, there's one call an hour. It means you have to fill the rest of the time. It also is depressing because if nobody calls, it means nobody's listening. So all in all...
Didn't they make a show about you in San Francisco, the Nighthawk?
The Nighthawk. That wasn't me, but yeah. Late night talk radio is an interesting experience, let me tell you.
Yeah. A quick question, I hope. My neighbor bought a new TV. It's got an app on it called Chromecast.
Yeah.
And now the TV just comes on whenever it thinks it should and displays.
So there's two things going on here. The coming on whenever it thinks it should is something called, and every TV has a different name for it, but the technical term is CEC. And it was designed, you could turn it off in the TV, so the TV will never come on. It was designed to simplify the control of the TV so that you, for instance, if you had a variety of devices, an Apple TV, a cable box, maybe a Roku, when you pressed the remote or turned on one of those devices, I press the remote on the Apple TV, it wakes up the Apple TV. The Apple TV uses CEC to signal the TV, oh, Leo wants to watch TV, and it wakes it up. Turns it on, and it goes to that channel. That's very convenient, but it can be annoying because it's not very well implemented, and sometimes the TV just turns on all by itself. The Chromecast is turning on the TV, basically. So going into the menu of the TV itself and turning off CEC will do that. Or there may be, depending on the TV, a way to say, don't wake up the TV because the Chromecast has an issue. But that's what you're going to figure out. Now, the slideshow that it's getting is part of the Chromecast, and so that's controlled by the Chromecast software. Most of the time, the way Chromecasts work is people buy these from Google as a separate dongle, and then they use their Android or iOS phone and apps on those phones to send. Like, for instance, Netflix. You launch it on your phone, there's a little cast button that shows up. You press that, and the TV now is playing Netflix. You control it with your phone, but it's actually using the built-in internet access on the TV to get the data, so you could turn your phone off and it'd still play. So that's what casting is. Certainly, if you buy a Google device, you'll use the Home app on your iPhone, on your smart device to control it. I'm going to guess it's the same on the TV. So there's a Google Home app that he should download on a smartphone. When he launches it...
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, sir.
No, please. Go ahead.
Well, I don't think he has a problem with the slideshow. He just doesn't want the TV to come on.
Oh, okay. So that solves it. Yeah, that's a CEC issue. It's nice to know you can control the slideshow because it's getting photos. If you don't tell it otherwise, it's just getting pretty photos from the Google verse, landscapes and stuff. But you can actually, if you have Google Photos, you can actually have your own photos show up in that slideshow. So it's worth...
and that wouldn't be loaded into the TV, though. It would have to come off your phone or
it gets it from the internet. What happens is you control it with the Google Home app on your phone. You can tell it what to show. You could say, I don't want to see the time. I do want to see the weather. I don't want to see your slideshow. I want to see mine. There's all these controls over the screensaver on the Google Chromecast, and that's controlled by the Google Home app. I'm going to guess it may be because the TV has Cast built in. I don't have one of those TVs. That's a new thing, and I think it's a good thing. But it may be that the TV menu itself has some of those controls, so he can browse those. But the first thing he wants to do is turn off the Consumer Electronics Control, CEC. There are other names. Do you know what kind of TV he has?
No, sir, I don't.
Yeah. So if he Googles the name of the TV, Samsung, Sony, LG, and CEC, you can find on the internet what that company calls CEC. Sometimes they call it something else. But it's the Consumer Electronics Control. The idea is when you have a device connected, the TV turns on automatically because you signaled your intent to watch.
Right.
Unfortunately, it seems to be poorly implemented in a lot of cases.
I guess it is here.
Yeah. No, everybody has this problem. It's a universal complaint. Thanks, John.
Good
to talk to you.
You saved me.
All right. We'll see you in the middle of the night sometime.
Yeah, I'm banging on your door.
If you hear me on the radio in the middle of the night, please call. Save me. Those were the days. There was one, when I first started in radio, the late night shift, like midnight to 5 a.m. was the only shift I could get. That's how you start, right at the bottom. This is way back when. Small little station in Monterey. And mostly my job was running tapes of religious services. It was a Sunday morning, midnight. I don't know who was listening to religious services at midnight and Sunday morning, but somebody must have been. I guess that's what the station was broadcasting. So for the first few hours of the show, I was putting reel-to-reel tapes on. And it's hard, in the middle of the night, you're tired. I was a young guy. I was in my early 20s, putting these tapes on, wake up at 1 o'clock, put the next tape on. One night, I didn't wake up. Well, I did eventually, but I heard the tape going, and of course, nothing was broadcasting. Dead air, which you learn in radio school. If I'd ever gone to radio school, I would have learned in radio school is the worst thing that can happen. Dead air. But I'll tell you, there's actually something worse than dead air. Nobody called. I thought, the station lines are going to be lit up. The station's off the air. Nothing. Not even the program director. Not even the boss called. Nothing. Which led to the obvious and inevitable conclusion that there was no one listening at all. Nobody cared. That's worse than dead air. Nobody cared. Leo Laporte, the tech guy, 8888. Ask Leo the phone number. Doug on the line, Denver, Colorado. Hey, come on over to the phone, Doug. You're on the radio.
I'm here. Wait a second. I'm up on some mountain. Just wait a second here.
Oh, wait, no problem. I got nothing.
Right, I'm up here. I'm high in Colorado. What can I tell you?
Nice. I'm jealous. Are you? Okay. You taking a little Saturday hike, walking around a little bit?
No, I'm in a Best Buy store talking to you, which is a whole lot less interesting.
Okay. I didn't know they had Best Buys up in the mountains. That's nice. That's good.
I have several things, but one thing, first off, if I went to this remote PC thing that you advertised, and when I went there, it said, without saying anything about Leo, I got 90% off. So I didn't know.
Don't tell anybody. It's the same.
Free, like a free.
It's the same 90%.
Card to Starbucks or something.
No, you get 90%. What more do you want? Really? Are you telling me that you don't have to use my name, Leo, at remotepc.com to get 90% off?
No, you
just
don't have to do that. And I thought, and I was sure it was gold, and I was going to put it in there. And I was going to.
Well, try it. Maybe you get 90% off 90%. That'd practically be free. No, I don't think so. I
don't see a place to put in a special code.
Oh, really?
Your name. Yeah. So I'll off the air. I'll give you my email address.
You get your 90. You get your 90 one way or the other. It's fine. I don't. But it's odd, and I will.
Off a 90.
They're a wonderful sponsor. They own iDrive as well. And both of them have that 90% off deal. And then the ad copy, which, I'm a slave to the ad copy. I read the copy. It says, use my name, Leo, for 90% off. But you know what? If they don't ask you for a name and you get the 90%, that's fine with me.
Your mother gave you the name Leo, and she expected more out of that name,
She expected more.
She expected more. So now I have some other things to mention. One is that I was going to talk about going to Hawaii and getting your COVID shot. My son's in Hawaii right now.
Yeah.
And a couple of things I can talk about that. But let's talk about the pain in your arm, not the pain in your butt.
I got my second Moderna shot.
Okay.
But I did not get it in the behind. I got it in my arm. And it's still a little sore, yeah.
Well, I'm glad they found your arm, not your behind. All right. So anyway, let's talk about something.
Okay.
When I went in to have I had a wisdom tooth extracted, and so
are you still on the meds now? I think you're a little loopy.
What? I'm up high in Colorado.
Okay.
And it's not medical marijuana or recreational. It's just natural.
Just the air, lack of air is getting to you. Okay, that's fine.
Yes. Okay. So anyway,
you had your wisdom tooth out. Yeah.
Here's what I found out.
Yes.
When I had when they gave me Novocaine, they put in shot after shot.
Ow.
Trying to deal with a really, really painful thing.
I hate that.
Anyway, I gave up. I said I'll come back and get totally under the
yes
whatever it is that they put you out like a dog. Okay, so they ended up and I said no. So I checked into it, and the stuff called Lanacaine that's in the Neosporin pain stuff, it's in Salon Pas, it's in all the stuff that they put the fancy names on them, and they sell the same stuff.
It's a topical analgesic, yes.
It's amazing.
Are you on it right now, is I guess my... all the canes, Dr. Mom's in the chat room, all the canes are related in the way they act. Lidocaine, Lanacaine, Novocaine, right? It's all the same cane. But for dental work, they don't want the topical thing. Remember in the old days, I don't know if they still do it, you'd go to the dentist. Why are we talking about this? I don't know. Roger, he was high in the mountains. They would put like the clove oil on before they gave you the Novocaine. That's the topical, numbs you a little bit. Then they put the Novocaine. They got to get that in a little deeper to numb the nerves so they can do the dental. Fascinating. On and on. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. 8888 ask Leo. Let's go to Stephen in Bloomington, California. Hello, Stephen.
Hello. How you doing, Leo?
I am great. How are you?
Good. I'm going to retire in 13 days.
Oh, are you excited or are you nervous?
No, I'm excited. In fact, what I want to do is I want to put together a new computer.
Nice.
So I won't have to worry about budgeting it later,
Yeah, this is a good time to do it. The company computer is going to go away in 13 days. Might as well have your own. What do you want to know?
Well, I actually have 5820K processor on an Asus board.
Okay.
And I want to upgrade from that. I wanted to try the 11700K. I'm a little nervous about the reviews I've been reading about it.
Yeah. So what you have, what we're talking about is Intel processors. And what you have right now is very nice i7, but you're looking at an 11th generation. And you probably saw the reviews that said it's disappointing. What do you want to do with these processors? Or this computer, I guess.
I'm kind of trying to future-proof. I have an electrician at work, and he's going to put this computer together for me.
But what are you going to play games? You're going to surf the net? You're going to do email? What are you going to do?
I do a lot of music stuff. Listening and
listening or composing.
Not composing yet.
Okay,
that's something I might look into. But,
so listening is not for
general purposes, but basically I'm building it so that I can keep playing my games and maybe one day go 4K.
Got it.
I want to kind of get. Right now I'm at 1440, so I'm happy with that. But I might want to go 4K at some point.
Yeah. So the 11th generation processors just came out. Intel has been somewhat laggard in the business. They have had a hard time getting their technologies updated, and a number of review sites. Remember, the enthusiast sites and the review sites, they're splitting hairs to some degree, but they're looking at the benchmarks for this new 11th generation and saying, well, it's not as big a bump as it ought to be. In some cases, I think they're saying it's not as good as the price would dictate. I don't think there's anything bad with it. What games do you play?
I'm playing Warframe.
How fun!
My friend in Germany.
How fun!
That I used to go to a grade school with. That's how we.
That's so cool. So that's a 3D, full immersion third-person shooter. So not first person. So it's not quite as hard to render, say, as Call of Duty, but it's still, you don't want it to be slow. You want it to look as good as possible. Honestly, I just bought a new gaming PC and I put an AMD processor in it instead. And I think bang for your buck, the AMD Ryzens might be a better way to go. You're starting from scratch, right?
Yeah, I have a Corsair 5000D case. I put it in, but then I kind of hit the wall when I started reading the reviews for the.
Yeah, I don't blame you. But again, as I said, it's going to be a nice processor. There's nothing wrong with it. I think a lot of times when you look at these sites, it's not like it's malfunctioning. It's just it's faster. It's just not as much faster as people wanted it to be.
Yeah, I just wanted that reassurance from you.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, because I've been reading it, and it's kind of like you say, they're kind of splitting hairs, it sounds like.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
As far as cooling is a thing I was worried about, but I'm going to use a Noctura 15S.
Nice. Those fans are great. You're going to have the cooler. That's great. You're going to be good.
And then I got the Corsair 5000D Airflow. So I don't
set.
want to get. Yeah. Okay, good.
You're going to have a lot of fun. That's going to be a lot of fun. I ended up getting it from Alienware because I was having a hard time getting the parts. And that's one of the problems with choosing an AMD part these days. I got the Ryzen 7 5800X, and it'd be hard to get on your own. Dell has a lot of buying power. And the same thing with the video card. I wanted a NVIDIA GTX 3080, again, because for a variety of reasons, chip shortages and Bitcoin miners, they're hard to get. Again, Dell's buying power helps. If you can get the parts you want, building it's a great experience. You got somebody who knows what he's doing putting it together. The only problem with building your own is if something goes wrong, there's no one number to call. You've got to figure out, and everybody will point the finger at the other person and so forth. But
I've told people that, and that's why I'm trying to buy it all at one place. I went down to Micro Center, and they only had stuff in their warehouse.
It's tough. It's getting really tough. Yeah. But since you got, the guy you're going to point the finger at is the guy building it, and he's going to have to figure it out. So that's good.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
And I also already have a 2070 Super to put in it. I'm going to take it out of my old computer.
Nice.
Put an older card in that, so I have two computers. I'll have a backup that way. And
I think you're set. Don't take it. Just, these enthusiast sites, literally, splitting hairs is a great way to put it. They're it's their job to review something, and if something isn't as great as they were hoping it would be, they're going to sound like they're very unhappy with it. But these Intel chips are fine. I have to say I'm very happy with the AMD. From the point of view of compatibility and a user, there's no difference. But I think bang for your buck, AMD is really, breathing down Intel's neck.
And that 11th generation, they have the USB-C and
that's what I miss.
PCI 4.
That's what I miss. Yeah, because Thunderbolt
be able to upgrade to.
Exactly, Thunderbolt's an Intel technology, so I do not have Thunderbolt on this. You really want USB 4 or Thunderbolt 4 on your motherboard because that's a very fast processing technology. So that's a strong argument to go with an Intel motherboard. I wouldn't worry about it. It's a performance versus cost thing. It's whether it's a good deal, and it's somewhat splitting hairs. I think you're good.
This is like the thing I'm buying for my retirement. So, it's a little present to myself.
What a nice gift. Yeah. What are you retiring from?
I was going to tell you, I worked for the newspaper. I made it 43 years.
Wow.
When I was 22, as a pressman.
A pressman.
And
so you've seen some changes from.
I didn't get a raise. I didn't get a raise for 12 years.
Oh boy! Yikes.
Yeah, that was. I was already making some pretty good money.
But I hope you have a good pension so you can enjoy your retirement and not have to worry about money.
IRA and a 401k that I'm going to cash in and make kind of a slush fund for.
Good. And you're not worried about being bored, huh?
No, I'm looking forward to listening to my vinyl. I bought some new speakers for my stereo, and and I've got 1,000 CDs, and I just don't have time to listen to them. Reading, exercising. My hours are really weird because of working nights and stuff like that. So
you're looking forward to seeing some daylight then.
Yeah, I'm riding my bike and going to the beach. My nephew moved a quarter mile from the beach down in Huntington.
Nice.
And so I'll be able to go down and visit him and spend the night and stuff like that.
I think this is a good thing to do for your retirement, to have a nice gaming PC. I love it that you stay in touch with your friends overseas with a game. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah,
we talked about
it a long time ago, and he got on this Warframe thing. He's way ahead of me, so
I'm
going to be able to.
Now you can catch up. Stephen, it's a pleasure. Enjoy your retirement.
All right, thank you, Leo.
My pleasure. Take care. You too. Yeah, if you. The jobs of these enthusiast sites is to quibble. And from a point of view of an end user, these quibbles are irrelevant. They're irrelevant. I wouldn't waste a lot of energy on it. It's maybe information you can use, but not important. Dickie D.
Hey, Leo, how you doing?
I am great.
Yeah. It's good, Leo. The new quibbles with fruit is nice.
It's fruity. It's fruity quibbles.
Yeah, it's from Kellogg's.
Yeah,
they're
fruity quibbles. Yeah. I think those are very good. We know this is disco because of the boo sound. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Our disco guy is here. We call him the Giz Wiz, Dick DeBartolo, Mad Magazine's maddest writer for 5 decades. Also a gizmo wizard. Every week he joins us with a gadget or a gizmo or something.
Something, yeah.
What do you?
You know, I just wanted to make one comment last week about Quakehold, and not the product, but I kept saying, why does it say new version, 80 cents cheaper?
This is the museum putty you were talking about for securing
yes,
all those things on your shelves.
Yes, from falling during an earthquake.
Yeah.
And new version brings up the same photo, the same copy.
So what's new?
And then I realized what's new is the shipping. Okay, for the putty that is $3.89 is free shipping for Prime.
Yeah.
The putty that's $2.99 is $14 to ship it. Considering it's a 3-ounce package, that does seem a little excessive.
It's pretty hard when you're making something as basic as museum putty. Oh, is the UPS guy here?
It's the mailman, but he comes in and he rings every single bell. I know Dennis is home, so he'll buzz him in.
So he just keeps ringing until
he just keeps. Yeah,
somebody lets him in. That's hysterical. Yes. That's hysterical. Okay.
Yes. Anyway, so on to a new gadget. All right. This is inexpensive, and it comes in a little kit form, but it takes about 10 minutes to do it.
This solves a problem. I want to show you a picture.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find it. Of my friend Johnny Jett, who's also on the show, as you know.
Oh, yes. Johnny Jett. Thanks to him,
yes.
I listened to him last week. I got 440 American Airline miles playing the game.
Oh, that's nice. Well, I guess it's not on his Instagram. It's probably on his Facebook, so I don't have it. But he was on the road the other day, and he needed to he didn't tell me this, but he was doing a conference, and he needed something to put his laptop on so that the camera, instead of looking down at it, would be at eye level. And the only thing he could find was his son Jack's sand bucket. So there's a picture of him, I guess it's on Facebook, I don't have it, of his sand bucket with his laptop on it, and he's looking all professional. But, of course, no one sees the sand bucket. This solves that problem.
Yeah. The spelling is very, very strange. ATUMTEK, but I think they might be going for Atom Tech.
It's, you know what? It's a Japanese or a Chinese company, and they always have the strangest names.
So it's a little monitorizer, and it has 3 different adjustments, and it comes folded down. You have to put in 6 screws on the top, and then 3 big drive-in screws on the side that are the adjustments. But you can set it for 3.9 inches. You can set it for 4.7 inches or 5.5 inches.
Oh, it's pretty big.
Yeah, you know what? I like it. It annoyed me that my postage scale took up room on my work table. So I built this little guy. I put the postage scale on top of that. Then the Scotch tape, the scissors, the stapler can all slide under the postage.
Is there a limit to how much you can hold?
Yes, 36 pounds.
Oh, that's good. You could put your Mac on it or something, your iMac.
Yes. And strangely, it says not for laptops bigger than 16 inches. But why? I mean,
they're not that heavy.
No, and it'll just hang over the sides.
Right.
It's aluminum. It has holes all through it, so if you're using it for a laptop, it can help cooling.
Look at that. Look at all the stuff you got there.
It's 21. Yeah.
A TumTech. Maybe it's for your tummy. A tummy.
That could be.
A tummy tech. A tummy.
That could be.
A tummy tuck.
That could be.
TumTech 3-position monitor riser. Some assembly required.
Right. I bought the pair. It was 2 for $39.99.
Oh, that's nothing. All right.
No, it isn't. Singly, it's $21, and in silver, it's $22.
I need a monitor lower. Do you have
that? Yeah, it's an electric saw.
So I got my desk, and I got my monitor, and it's a pretty big monitor. It's 55 inches. It's kind of large. Wow. And I'm looking up at it. What I'd like to be... So I realized...
You can't take the base off?
No, it's not that high up off the desk. It's just giant. So I realized what I need is a higher chair. So I sit higher.
Yeah.
My chair doesn't go up.
Just go to the baby store.
Yeah, maybe a little high chair. That
little
would
high
do
chair.
it. Can you
got
look
bigger
for
ball,
some-
pal? Are you still on a ball?
I am still. Yeah, only here though. I'm not at home.
Oh, okay.
Only here. I'm sitting on a stability ball, like a yoga ball.
Yeah. Okay.
That's to keep my energy up during this exhausting.
How about
3
building
hours.
a mini? How about building a mini platform for your chair?
You know what I need? I need the chair that they have at the hairdresser. The barber.
Oh.
You know the barber does boom, boom, boom.
Hydraulic.
And you go, that's what I need. Maybe an old barber chair.
I think that's great.
Could you look for
I
one
would
for
do
me?
That.
Maybe there's one
Yeah,
in your warehouse. I bet
Ask
there
Tim
is.
Conway if they have the one from the dental sketch.
The dental sketch. Dick DeBartolo is the Giz Wiz at his website. If you want to learn more about the Atumtech monitor stand, it's all there. Just go to gizwiz.biz, gizwiz.biz. Click the button, the blue button that says the Giz Wiz visits the tech guy. All of the things he's mentioned on the show are there. The site has all the stuff he mentions on ABC's World News Now and other places he goes. There's Mad Collectibles. There's Match Game Collectibles. He was, of course, the man behind the Match Game for years and years and years. And there's the What the Heck Is It contest, a chance to win an autographed copy of Mad Magazine. All you got to do, it's clearly a motor. It's an electric motor, clearly. Oh, that's obvious, Dick. It's just clear with little levers and a little thumb presser. Is it upside down?
Well, I can't tell you that. But when the contest is over, think about your chair.
It's a little I don't know what it is. You play you can't. I have no idea. So you don't have to get it right, by the way. If you can guess it right, you're in the running for up 6 autographed copies of Mad Magazine. But there are 12 autographed copies of Mad Magazine for people who get it wrong but come up with a clever wrong answer. Go to gizwiz.biz to play the game. All the rules are there. You're playing for the June issue. Mad Predicts the Future.
Yes.
I like that cover. Who did that cover?
You know, I'm
That's a
not
nice
sure.
cover. It's
The
not a
cover,
Mingo.
No, it's not. I believe we used it on a poster or something, and they repurposed it for this, but I'm not sure.
I like it. It's got a nice style to it.
It does.
There was a style to the Mad art that I really love. Do you have any of the when I visited you in the old days when it was on Madison Avenue, or actually no, it wasn't. It had moved already, right?
No, we were at, I think, 1225 6th Avenue.
6th Avenue.
Oh yeah, no, 13th. We were right across the street from Letterman.
Okay, yeah.
When
I
you guys
visited
came.
you,
Yes.
and I brought my
You and
daughter, Abby, at the time she was like 10, you had these beautiful cabinets with giant drawers full of original artwork, like the Mingo would paint beautiful paintings of the covers and stuff. What happened to those? Because I would love to have one of those.
Time Warner auctioned everything off.
I missed it.
One day they came up and they realized, wait, is this stuff on the wall the original art?
Yes.
They sent everything out to make copies of them, and they sold them for millions of dollars.
I hate Time Warner. Oh, well, I couldn't have afforded it anyway.
Yeah.
Gizwiz.biz, Dick DeBartolo. We'll talk again next week.
Okay, buddy.
Thank you, Dickie D. Thanks for visiting. We'll see you again next time. Leo Laporte, the Tech Guy. Have a great Geek Week. Well, that's it for the Tech Guy Show for today. Thank you so much for being here. And don't forget, TWiT, TWiT. It stands for This Week in Tech, and you'll find it at twit.tv, including the podcasts for this show. We talk about Windows on Windows Weekly, Macintosh on MacBreak Weekly, iPads, iPhones, Apple Watches on iOS Today, security on Security Now. I mean, I can go on and on and on. And, of course, the big show every Sunday afternoon, This Week in Tech. You'll find it all at twit.tv. And I'll be back next week with another great Tech Guys show. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time.